Welcome back to Northern Perspective, everybody. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Tanya.
And I'm a political cowboy. So, as you're making your way in, please make sure you ring that doorbell. That gives us some YouTube points. Put up your feet, grab your popcorn and your beverage of choice if you're not sloshed already, or if you don't have your coffee already, whatever you're drinking. And join us for a night of Sunday evening politics, one of the last few of 2025, if you can believe it. Anyway, let's get to house rules.
So it is the same 3 house rules as always. Please respect each other and the show. No selling, soliciting, or spamming in the chat. And please do not use profanity. We have almost a full slate of moderators with us this evening. We have Adjuster, we have Randy, we have Dawn, and we have Cujo this evening. We also will have Barnaby joining us very soon. He's going to be collecting questions for the Q&A tonight. So please hang on to your questions until you actually see Barnaby in the chat. I'll let you know when he gets here. And when you see Barnaby, you can tag at Barnaby from Northern Perspective and ask him your questions for later.
And I finally did some homework, folks. So, you know, we do have a new meme.
How dare you?
So, so Greta is with us. So we have that. And we do have finally the updated question period intro. It is nothing spectacular. It's just updated. So, you know, we won't be seeing Greg Fergus. We won't be seeing Chris D'Entremont. We won't be seeing Anthony Rota anymore.
So set your expectations, I guess.
Set your expectations low. So anyway, so before we get into anything else, folks, we wanted to address what happened last Sunday on the live stream, and we just want to clear the air. So we just want to clarify, Northern Perspective doesn't attack creators, we attack claims. We do this because we receive dozens, sometimes hundreds of emails from people who are scared, confused, or deeply concerned about the validity of certain information that they're seeing online. If we can bring clarity, then we see it as our responsibility to our audience to do so. Many channels in our space cover the same political stories as we do, and most of the time, we reach the same conclusions. Those moments go unnoticed because there's nothing to debate, because we do reach the same conclusions. But sometimes we reach different conclusions. And when that happens, we go back to what we've always done, which is look at primary documents, primary sources, testimony, and hard evidence. Our focus is on the accuracy of information, not the person or persons that are presenting it. And we've always promised you honesty, because we've said time and time again, honesty is something that the mainstream media has been denying Canadians for over a decade now, and we think you deserve it, even when that honesty challenges a popular narrative that's out there. We also want to take a moment to speak about our amazing moderators. Our moderators come directly from you, NP Nation. They were originally viewers, and they're volunteers who stepped up because they care about the community and they want these live streams to be enjoyable for everybody. They deserve the same basic respect as every member of NP Nation, and we're extremely, extremely protective of them. Over the past few weeks, and this is not directed to any particular person in chat, we know the vast majority of NP Nation is not applicable to this, but we want to make sure we cover everything. We've received many messages from longtime viewers saying that the chat is becoming difficult to follow because it's being overwhelmed by people coming in from seemingly outside communities. Now, that doesn't mean that people from outside communities that have never joined the stream before are not welcome, far from it, but we want to make sure that people know that no one is being muted or banned simply for mentioning another person or a creator. The issue is if the chat is taken off course by several repeated comments or discussion of someone unrelated to the stream and unrelated to the topic, this is serving to take chaff off course, and it's considered off-topic spam, and our moderators will handle it. The moderators will step in as needed to maintain a clear and respectful discussion that follows the rules and stays the focus of the stream, and they have our full support. We also ask that NP Nation extend the same courtesy to other channels, as we know the vast majority of you do. We wouldn't want our community going into somebody else's live stream and overwhelming their chat just talking about Northern Perspective either. Respect goes both ways. And that's how we keep this place a very safe and healthy community. We want to thank all of you in NP Nation directly, because you're the reason this community feels grounded, respectful, and as amazing as it is. What we've said tonight is meant to support that, not point fingers. And it's about keeping this space healthy for the people who value it, and we're not going to let a few bad actors disrupt what we've all, and that's all of us on this stream, all worked so hard to build. Northern Perspective has always been about facts, clarity, and respect. That's who we were last week, that's who we are today, and that's who we'll continue to be. So thank you for indulging us on that, and hopefully that clarifies some things. So, but anyway, moving along. So this was a week. As I say, every single week I need to come up with new material.
Yeah, you
apparently.
do.
Seems it's the same thing, but you know, the video we put out yesterday was something to say the least, and want to thank one of our viewers for letting us know about that as well. So much appreciated. And I think that was Louis Philippe, if I'm not mistaken. And
I think so. Yeah.
And good. Well, then, if I am mistaken, that's not my fault.
Sure, blame me.
So appreciate that. And it came from the Toronto Star of all places, one of the most left-leaning publications. But if you haven't seen that video, which I know many people have, I encourage you to look at it. And I will just reiterate, the good news is it's probably not going to happen. And this is, of course, related to the story about the hidden section in the budget where the Liberals were trying to give their ministers the power to make any person, entity, or corporation immune from any non-criminal legislation in Canada. So it's really something, and I don't expect it to go anywhere with all of the opposition parties coming out hard against it. So that's the good news with that. So I'm not too worried about that. And for a lot of people that are worried about C9, that feels like it's been shelved because the Liberals have faced such backlash about it, especially on this religious exemption that the Bloc wanted. So I don't expect to see C9 anytime soon. So fingers crossed on that.
Is that not the one that's going to committee?
It's in committee right now.
Oh, it is in committee right now. So they're probably going to do what they did with C5, which is gut it. And the fact that even
but they're not even bringing it up at committee because of this
they're not.
exemption. Like that, they canceled the meeting because it was so.
Oh, so you think it's just going to what do they call
the dumpster seats? So
yeah, the dumpster seats. But there's a specific legislation, or like, is it legislative hell or something like that, where it just kind
purgatory.
of Yeah, that's it.
So if they get back to it, I don't expect to see it for a little while, probably until next year. So so that's good to see that C9 is effectively shelved for the time being. But if it does come back, we will be monitoring that and let you know how that goes. Let's get those likes up, folks. We're about 1,100 behind, actually 1,300 behind. So please, let's giddy up and let's go. And let's get to some of the pre-chat activity before we get into our main topic, which would be interesting to see.
And before we start that, Barnaby is in the chat now. So if you would like to ask a question for the Q&A portion of the show, please tag at Barnaby from Northern Perspective and ask your question, and he'll copy and paste them up to us for later.
Quentin Bergamer, member for 11 months. Thanks for sticking around. Good to see you. The debate for C9 in the House got very interesting the other day. I thought Jamil was going to slap Lamoureux over his usual vile behavior in the House of Commons. And following that up with a $7 super chat, is it me or is Carney losing the narrative? I think he is. I think he is, because there's a lot of organizations that are coming out and speaking against his budget, and especially the F-35 thing. You know, there's people with opinions, genuine opinions on, you know, whether we go with the F-35 or now abandon all of the work that the Canadian Armed Forces have done to set up all the facilities to service the F-35 across Canada and then go with the Gripen. But
there's a lot of work going towards the Gripen because you've been getting ads for it, which is
all over the place.
Bizarre.
And just
bizarre.
And tourist pages all of a sudden are advertising for the Gripen. So it's very
somebody's
bizarre.
pushing it. Somebody's trying to get this adopted.
And we're also seeing these tourist pages parroting all the Liberal talking points about, we're reducing unemployment. We jumped 54,000 jobs in the last month. And it's very bizarre that there's all of this happening. So, but I don't see any traction, and the polls are not showing any traction, right? That was the amazing thing on that story that we did the other day, is that despite all these hit pieces and all the propaganda and the Hill Times, CTV, Globe and Mail, CBC, everybody just trying to say, oh, Pierre's done. He's done. He's a problematic leader. It had zero effect on the polls, both ways, right?
Well,
both ways.
And I mean, they took that clip from our interview back in October, and mainstream media ran with it for like a week and a half. And again, no impact. So again, I think the conservative base is very united. Not entirely everybody is behind Pierre, because you do hear online, especially, people saying, well, we need a new leader. We need this, we need that. But the people I talk to in real life are 100% in support of Pierre.
But it also tells me that the swing voters are at least raising an eyebrow to mainstream media, saying, because if this was actually truly effective, you would be expecting Carney's numbers to go up, and they didn't. So that is something to see. And I think we are now sliding into this purgatory period where we expect it to be at this time, where Canadians the swing voters are saying, all right, time to show me something. But this is the problem, and this is what we've laid out. There's nothing in this budget that is going to take effect right now. Even if everything in that budget we treat with the best of intentions, it's going to be a couple of years before Canadians actually see anything. So you're going to see, we've already seen the grocery report come out. $1,000 next year on top of everybody's normal grocery bill. So that's about $20, $25 every week.
Well, and look at the jobs report just came out, and the Liberals are trying to say, like, oh, look, we added 50,000 or 54,000 jobs. Now, 50,000 of those jobs were for the youth demographic between 15 and 24, which you can argue is a good thing because they need jobs. That's the age bracket with the highest rate of unemployment. However, the vast majority of jobs, and this is where things get a little weird when you look at the report, 63,000 part-time jobs were added. So how is that possible? It's because there was a loss of, what would that be? 9,000 jobs. And
most of those were full-time.
17.9% of Canadians who are working a part-time job want to be working a full-time job, but cannot find one. So those are considered involuntary part-time, because they want to be working full-time, but all they can get is part-time. Yeah. So that's a problem.
So that's the biggest story that I think that came out of that jobs report, is virtually all of the jobs added were part-time, and we lost almost 9,000 full-time jobs. Yeah. That's very bad story.
That's bad.
So anyway, that's your $7 super chat. So hopefully you got your money's worth there. Capitalist Spy for $4. Thank you very much for the super sticker. And for $14, this is Jerry Joubert. Thank you very much. Why is the Liberal government without honor? Why are they so deceitful, dishonest, and disgraceful? All it takes for evil to prevail is good men and women to do nothing. Keep fighting, everybody. Absolutely, and that's what we intend to do.
Well, and I think the reason is because they have a very loyal base as well. People that either they're not paying attention to the corruption that's going on, or they're just kind of, well, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I really
this is the side I'm on.
Yeah. we, the people, are the ones that have to hold our government accountable. And that means writing letters, having meetings with your MP or their staff. That means going to events. That means staying involved. And when it comes time, voting. I just think a lot of Canadians maybe don't pay attention to politics the way that we all do. So they don't see what's going on.
Jessica Van Luke for $7. Love how Pierre is testing the Liberals with this bill. He is putting Carney to the test to see if he really means that a pipeline will be built. Yes, and they did this is what the Bloc did with the Liberals with the old age security increase in the fall, if you recall. And they made them vote on it, and the Liberals declared against it. So I expect, well, who knows? We might be surprised. But I expect that the Liberals are going to vote against this. Now, what will be interesting to see is if the Carney caucus votes for this and the Trudeau caucus votes against this to demonstrate the fracture of the Liberals. That would be very interesting to see, folks. But if they vote against it, then you know what's going to happen next, right? The Conservatives are going to be unleashing this campaign of, see, he's lying, he didn't mean what he says, and Danielle Smith is going to do her thing, and it's going to blow up, right? It's going to blow up. Autistic Avenger for $5. Thank you very much. Polls show Carleton is turning back Conservative. Should Pierre run in that riding again, or is it too risky? Still a few months to see what happens. Too early to say, and I think that's going to be a game time decision depending on what they say. But my guess is they probably have already identified some ridings where Pierre may run, and they may have already had some precursor conversations with some of the EDAs and potentially even the sitting MPs that are there. Now, that's not based on inside knowledge. That's just speculation. Yeah, that's speculation based on kind of what's logical, if you will. That's my guess on the strategy aspect of that. And we have Just Me Nicole for 23 months. Good evening. Hit the like and ignore the trolls. There you go. Ignore the trolls, but don't ignore the cats. That's right. And Trish Pearl for 279. No Fergus. Awesome. Hit the like button, everyone. Yes, no Fergus. He's the gun. And for $5, thank you very, very much. This is Alan H. Duke 3D. Hello, Ryan and Tanya, and all. Carney is using Canada as his own personal monopoly board, and taxpayers are the pieces. If this continues, we are doomed. Well, the good news is he can only do so much, and I think he's starting to kind of run out of room. He's running, to use your analogy, I think he's circling the board a few times, and he's not, every time he passes go, he's like having to pay income tax or something like that, ironically, since all this, money's in the tax havens. But he's not scoring any wins. There's nothing that people are tangibly seeing that is actually changing their lives. Go ahead. I was going to say, I think you have a lot of Canadians who voted Liberal last time because, well, it's a different guy, maybe it'll be different this time. And they're not seeing those results. They're not seeing the results that they expected. And these may be the people that vote Conservative the next time. And now there's talk, and we speculated on this, and this is pure speculation across the political board, that maybe Trump is going to try and tear up Kuzma, right? And then he's going to come for the tariffs on those things. So this is kind of what we speculated about a month or two ago. And if that happens, Carney's waiting game is going to end in disaster. Right. Now, I think there's a lot of Canadians that are going, well, Carney couldn't get a deal now. If there is an election in the spring, do we want him again to perhaps be present if Kuzma is disintegrated, or do we want somebody else? Do we want Pierre Poilievre? Right. Like, he couldn't get a deal. Why don't we try somebody else? Yeah. Right. So. And we have Whiffers SS for $20. I can picture you playing Greta a lot whenever any of the Libs MPs, especially Stephen McKinnon, open their mouth, right? Like literally, in question period. and be like, oh, the honorable minister for.
How dare you?
Do you know there's few Liberal MPs that are more performative than Steve McKinnon?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who's left that is.
Like, I know that's part of the job as a politician, but like, just, I feel like handing him a paper bag and going, can you act your way out of this? Just brutal.
I don't know. I'd take a bunch of high school, junior actors over McKinnon to do that, because he's
hammy.
He's bad.
He's hamming it up. Yep.
Peter Witten for $5. The best is the worst enemy of the good because it disconcerts us from enjoying the good, which could become the best at any time. Hopefully the folks that have had a few of their favorite beverage could follow that. So even if you haven't, that one's still going to be a noodle hopper to try and follow. And Anubis Hades for $5. Evening NP got 1/3 of the Millennium Falcon. 4D made it. It won't make the Kessel run in 12 parsecs, but hey, I'll send you finished images when it's done, Ryan.
Very
Excellent.
cool.
Thank you very much.
Very cool. We have like not the super small size, but the next one up. Not the really big one either, but we have like the medium size.
We don't have the super expensive one.
No, we have like the medium size one. That was like what we would do during COVID. We would have like date nights and do puzzles and build Lego and stuff because we couldn't go anywhere else.
And Dudu for $5. Merry Christmas, all you beautiful Canadians. Wonder if we can consider the kitties and Ryan and Tanya's helper elves. Well, that would imply that they actually contribute value other than laying around. So they don't really help. They just
they do
lay
the
there.
opposite of help. Like if we're trying to wrap presents, or we haven't decorated the tree yet. It's just a blank tree right now because we weren't sure what Proxy was going to do. If she was going to try to knock it over.
Right. So thanks for getting the likes up, folks. We are now 1,400 behind, but we're up to almost 3,100 viewers. That's what happens when you like the stream. So let's get those likes up, folks. Thank you. And we have... Oh, yes!
How dare you?
Member for 12 months.
Amazing.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in Granham, Alberta. It's so it is here in Hamilton, Ontario. So
I don't want to complain because I know there's many of you in different parts of the country that must have like way more snow than we do, but we have more snow than I would like right now. We'll put it that way.
Right. And Libby T for $5. Any updates on the subject of the longest ballot? Excellent question. So we're still waiting to see when the report is going to be brought into the House, because it takes a while to actually put that report together. And I'm hopeful that that's going to lead to either a government bill or a private member's bill to make some changes to the Elections Act. So as soon as we have some information on that, we will be doing a video on that. But thanks for following up on that, Libby T. And Métis Viking, member for 10 months, going into the holiday season. I want to say thank you to Ryan and Tanya and the mods for NP, where fact is greater than feelings. Hit the like. All the best in the new year. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want to make sure I get this person's name correctly. Luke Dredger donating a Northern Perspective membership. Thank you very much for that. And if you are the recipient of that, please make sure you give Luke a huge thank you. Neil from the Hill for $5. As a vet, I am so ticked off. 4.3 billion cut from VAC and 4.3 billion for that cokehead Zelensky. Thoughts? It's a disgrace. It's a complete and utter disgrace, given all of the corruption scandals that are going on over in the Ukraine right now.
My only question, and this is just more to kind of understand what's going on, not necessarily to say like this is good or bad, but is it possible that budget was cut because unfortunately veterans are dying at a faster rate than they are serving, like if that makes sense, because we're not really having wars and things anymore, so maybe they don't need the funds as extensively as they did in years past.
It's I don't have data on that either way. My thought right now is even before that, and I'm sure all the veterans would agree, we didn't support our veterans enough as it were.
And that's a fair point.
So.
if needs are not currently being met,
Correct.
even if people are no longer needing the services because maybe they're getting old and passing away, if you're already underfunding it, then you shouldn't be taking more away, even if people are dying.
Well, recall Trudeau's answer to that. You're asking for more than we can give. So, but bottom line, I think it's gross. You know, the increase in salaries for the current serving members, is that a good thing? Sure. Not gonna say it's not. There's so much that. How can we be spending all this money and not accomplishing what we need to accomplish? That's basically what it comes down to.
It's the Liberal way.
Right? You spend all kinds of money and literally get worse.
Nothing gets done. Well, they're creating all these bureaucracies, and for what? Look at housing.
Well, at least we have a new procurement office. You know, apparently Public Service and Procurement Canada isn't good enough, so we need another procurement office to buy military gear. Like, hello, McFly. So, Lee Busby for $7. They replaced the chair on Friday for C9, and the new chair is unbalanced and authoritarian in the way he conducts himself. Oh, so he's a Liberal. Okay, got it. And let's see here. This is Michael N. Member for 11 months. I think everyone needs to thank Michelle and CPC for the letter she read in committee. Truly hope here starts highlighting the team. Been good lately. Yeah, that was actually going to be the story that I was going to cover on Saturday morning. And if you don't know what this is referring to, Michelle Rumpel-Garner read a letter at committee in response to receiving a letter from one of the deputy ministers trying to censor committee members for just posting clips on the internet. Well, sorry, that's part of the parliamentary process. That's if they didn't do it, content creators would, or if they didn't do it, Canadians would still be watching it. So I don't know, what your issue is. So how about do a better job? Do a better job, and then you don't really have anything to worry about. I went to committee. I did fine because I didn't act like a tool.
Well, and you were telling the truth. You weren't trying to navigate around these questions that you were being asked.
Right.
It was just straightforward answers. This is the question. This is the answer. Here's my evidence. Like on Northern Perspective. What
are we going to hear next? Jennings from is it Global Affairs? No, it wasn't Global. I can't even remember the frickin' agency name. Anyway, that was dealing with Stellantis. What is he going to be writing a letter?
Oh, it's ISED was.
Oh, ISED, yeah. Complaining about the coverage in committee, despite the fact that your team lied. And that's not opinion. Well, if Stellantis is telling the truth, it's not opinion. But someone's lying here. So I got nothing for you. And Gamble God of War with the gaslighting and lies from the Liberals. Will the Conservatives reach a point with federal power to investigate up the last 10 years of corruption? It's hard to say. There's so much overhaul that needs to be done with this government. There's so many heads of these agencies they need to completely replace. They need to replace the head of the RCMP. They need to replace the head of ISED, Treasury Board, procurement. They need to do a full, the amount of work that needs to be done is insane. The first thing the Conservatives need to do is stop the bleeding, and then fix. That's what they need to do. So it's hard for me to even speculate on that. And Miriam Rachel for $7. Thank you, NP. You putting my petition. There you go. E6994 in the description means so much. It's already helped a lot. Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
That's great.
It's our pleasure. We do have it linked again today in the very top of the description of this live chat. It is literally right under where it says 3,200 watching now. It's the petition to repeal Bills C11 and C18. Selfishly, these ones do help Northern Perspective and all your favorite content creators. So
all independent media.
If you do have a moment, please sign the petition. When you sign it on the House of Commons website, you'll get an email from the House of Commons asking you to click the link inside to confirm your signature. Also, if you do have a ourcommons.ca petition that you would like us to share. We do share the ones that align with the values of Northern Perspective. Send us an email, please. It's info@northernperspective.ca.
And Sean Morris for $5. Tuesday will be fun with the Liberals having to whip everybody into voting for the Conservative pipeline. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. It really will. Lazarus for $10. Hate to say it, but all these job losses, though sad, might be needed to really push the narrative that voting Liberal is a big reason why these all happened, and she didn't read the contract.
I can't believe that. Like, that's your job to read the contract. And if it's not your job, then it's your job to give it to legal. Like, this is just, it's not corruption, it's negligence.
Well, and again, just wait till January, right, with all these jobs, because all the Christmas jobs will be gone, probably towards the end of January.
Because you get like return season, right? You've worked retail before, so usually end of January is when, unfortunately, they start letting the seasonal jobs go.
Well, and many stores will lease additional space. That's why they hire additional staff, right? And
or they'll have satellite shops or whatever.
So they need time to A, go through return season, and B, close down those shops, remove everything out, and then they let everybody go. So it's going to be interesting to see how many of these 120-odd thousand part-time jobs that they've added in the last 2 months are going to then be gone. So early next year, and you just know they're going to say, well, that's Christmas season and that's nothing. Really. Never mind all the headlines now are unexpected growth of 54,000. Like who's unexpecting this? Have you not been through Christmas before? So, and want to get to one. Is it this one? Yes, Damien McNeil for $100. Thank you very, very much. Missed the chat in the last few weeks, always checking in the next day. Loved the Greta edition and the new QP intro. I was recently in Nova Scotia and was told I was a conspiracy theorist and or a AI believer. However, I know I am smarter than that because of you both. Well, thank you so much.
And thank you for your generous support.
Absolutely. So, okay, folks.
Wait, I want one more, which is Gothic Blonde is saying, Cat Cam Ryan, and where is Proxy? I'm going to try to turn that one camera around to see if I can aim it at her. No. Oh, no, I can't because I'm...
You can do it later.
Okay. After this segment, if she's still asleep by that couch, I'll try to swing it around so that you guys can see her. But, yeah.
Okay. So...
My little Proxy. She had zoomies and now she's sleeping.
Some of you may have seen this. Some of you may not have. I don't know if anybody else covered this. I don't care. We haven't really seen this yet.
We saw like enough to go, we need to talk about this because this is hilarious.
And given all of the garbage that we've been talking about over the last 6 months, this is a little reprieve from that. So, for those of you that don't know, which I can't imagine there's many of you, but for those of you that don't know, recently there was the annual press gallery dinner that occurred in Ottawa, and all the parties go and all the press people go, and it's kind of like the roast that's down in the United States, which is like the correspondence dinner or something. But it's the same thing up in Canada. And Pierre completely stole the show with his... I don't know if he hired the guy from This Hour is 22 Minutes to come.
They might have just done it together because This Hour has 22 Minutes. It's owned by CBC, so he may have been there anyways. So they may have just coordinated. Whatever they did, it was brilliant. But so was the roast given by Don Davies. And we know that... probably fewer people have seen it, so some of this is new to us as well. And
nobody was expecting anything, as usual, from the NDP. And people say that Pierre stole the show. I think Don Davies may have stolen the show, just based on the 2 jokes that I saw him tell. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it, here is Don Davies. We're going to be kind of just letting this play and just laughing and reacting to it as we go. We're not going to like stop it now and then. We'll comment at the end. But this is something else. Something else.
Or what we heard and what we saw.
Again,
Something else.
I've only seen like
the
first two jokes. So, ladies and gentlemen, Don Davies, NDP.
Good evening, distinguished guests, colleagues, and members of the press gallery. My name is Don Davies, and my pronouns are broke and irrelevant.
Yep.
This is where everybody knew.
I was originally given 3 minutes for my remarks, but I negotiated an extra minute in exchange for propping up the Liberals, and an extra 2 for keeping the Conservatives out of an election.
There's some shade.
Wow.
Jesus, Monsieur Blanchet, after that speech, I think I'm going to vote for separation. Look, I'll be honest. The last election was tough for New Democrats despite having a hip, fit, and well-dressed leader. So in choosing an interim leader, we're going to go in a different direction.
Oh my gosh.
Tell you it's hard to be a New Democrat these days, representing a once great Canadian institution that's been reduced to a shadow of its former self. Of course, that's something that our friends at the CBC table can relate to.
Oh! Aren't they the ones
I thought you'd
hosting
like
the
that,
dinner?
Pierre.
I thought you'd like that one, Pierre.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
a party that lost status so shockingly that some call us Buffy Saint NDP. Now, a lot of people say the NDP has alienated the working class, which I think is unfair. Rich people and professionals also don't like us.
Middle class doesn't
There's
like you
good
either.
news, though. The NDP just had our French language leaders debate, and it was very good for party morale. Unfortunately, that party was the Bloc Québécois.
Oh my gosh. I'm dying over here.
What is going on? Now, I'd like to address the allegation that the NDP is broke untrue. We've had our accountant split the numbers into capital and operating budgets. And if you don't add those columns together against our revenue, we will lead the planet in economic strength.
That's a good Carney shade.
It's an honor to join my fellow leaders here tonight. Elizabeth May is here, my designated driver.
Wow.
You see, the funny thing about that is, to Elizabeth, the most offensive part of that joke is the idea that she drove here. Anyway, I'd like to congratulate her on negotiating such a massive gain to win her support of the budget. Getting the Liberals to agree to do what they already agreed to do and won't do was huge.
Oh, ouch.
I also see my colleague Yves-François Blanchet here. We all know I tried to get official party status for the NDP, but a big barrier was we refused to give the Bloc official party status when they had less than 12 seats, and then Jagmeet called them racists. Tonight I'm announcing new NDP policy. Never fuck over someone who put Je me souviens on their license plates.
I didn't know that was in there. Sorry, folks.
Sorry for the unparliamentary language. We'll bleep it later. This is where we don't watch stuff ahead of time.
Wow.
C'est un nouveau jour.
It's a new
It's a
day.
new day.
Spoke more French than the 5 leadership candidates did. Montreal.
Oh, it's
Now,
true.
Pierre Poilievre, I might have a small caucus, but at least it isn't shrinking.
Oh, that was a good one.
By the way, it's not the size of your caucus, it's what you do with it.
Of course, we knew that was going to show up. Oh my.
Now, I see that Matt Genereux is not here tonight. Seriously, though, has anyone seen him? I'm getting a little bit worried. The last time anyone heard from him, Andrew Scheer and Chris Warkentin were seen near his office with rope and a ball gag. You have to visualize that. And of course, Prime Minister Carney is here. It's great to see his entire communications team join him. Oh, my apologies, that's the Toronto Star table.
It's true, though.
Now, the Prime Minister and I actually have a lot in common. We both grew up in Edmonton, went to small Catholic high schools, and are in tremendous physical shape. Fuck, I didn't know I was going to be leader.
Oops, sorry.
Sorry, folks.
We both played hockey and scored the same number of goals, only he was a goalie and I was a forward. Now, speaking of devout Catholicism, this spring, Mr. Carney went to the Vatican to meet Pope Leo. Then he rushed home to make sure Canada wasn't wearing any protection when we got screwed by the United States.
Carney didn't like that one.
Youch!
Wow.
But elbows up? Seriously? When this guy met Donald Trump, he got on his knees so fast, Francois Legault wanted to use the notwithstanding clause.
Oh my God.
We should have screened this.
Maybe
Oh,
Danielle
sorry,
Smith,
guys.
too, if the rumors about Mr. Trump are true.
I
Prime
can't believe
Minister,
you said
remember that Catholic forgiveness thing. In the end, I never did
Bruh.
get that extra minute from the Liberals, but I'm going to abstain and let this night proceed anyway. It's what the voters would want. Thank you. Good evening.
Oh my goodness.
I think we owe everybody an apology.
Well, I owe people with kids an apology, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Sorry.
Wow.
We are sorry. We should have screened that. We wanted our reactions to be genuine, and oh my goodness, were they ever.
That's something. But, you know, the best comedy has truth sprinkled into it, right? It's funny because it's true. That's
Yeah.
what they say.
That's what I like to say, yeah. I'm not the creator of that saying, but I do like to say it.
I love that he opened making fun of the NDP's ridiculous policies on gender ideology. Like, that was crazy that he did that. Because, like, he's like, I don't care. I'm not going to be leader.
But, you know, I don't know for certain, but I suspect that they have this dinner gala in this manner so that it's because you've got all these politicians and all these people that are supposed to be working not necessarily against these politicians, but to show Canadians what's really happening in Parliament. So there may be some, what's the right word? Like, it may be adversarial. And so they have an evening like this to try to kind of smooth things over and show like everybody's working for Canada in their own different way. And I suspect that's why they have the roasts.
Well, and it's also, yeah, it's a way to try and cultivate camaraderie, right?
Yeah.
Among rivals. Just think about this. What I took away from that is Don Davies barely touched the Conservatives. Like he threw a couple of barbs at them, but the bomb that he dropped on Mark Carney at the end,
That was huge.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was like self-deprecating humor about not only the NDP, but also himself. And then he really went after the Liberals and Mark Carney.
Like, I wonder if he wrote it or somebody else wrote it.
Well, most likely somebody else wrote it.
But whoever wrote it, someone had to read it and be like, yeah, that belongs in there.
No, but even when the MPs do have a staffer either writing their speeches in their entirety or helping them with talking points or whatever it is, the MP has the final say. So Don Davies would have read that and went like, yep, that's good. Let's do it.
Right? Like, holy. That was some people are saying in chat, I agree, it was savage. Like, just savage against the Liberals.
It was savage.
And Mark Carney's he wasn't laughing at at least not
No,
that I could see.
he did not look happy.
He was not happy about that. Oh, that's crazy. And like Tanya had watched, like, I think the first 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, and I had watched up until, I'm trying to think now, because we definitely didn't see any of the swearing, obviously, or else that would have been bleeped out. I had seen up until the point where Blanchette kind of like got up from the table and kind of waved.
Oh, so that was, I think, the third joke.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my goodness, we have to do the Don Davies thing. He has such deadpan delivery, and it was great. I can't believe Don Davies wasn't laughing his butt off up there."
Yeah, like, I love self-deprecating humor, and he just pulled it off so well. I thought it was hilarious.
So, anyway, that was awesome.
Something.
That was
Again,
a
we
great treat.
apologize for the curse
Everyone's
words.
saying don't apologize. So.
I know, but still, we have rules and we tend to break them sometimes.
Your discretion is advised. So.
We'll put a note in the description later.
That's okay. It's YouTube's not going to ding us. It wasn't in the first 30 seconds.
No,
So it's good.
but still, we do when we go out to events and meetups and that sort of thing. We do have kids who come to us with their parents and they say, my son or my daughter who's 10 or 12 absolutely loves Northern Perspective. Thank you for keeping the live stream especially friendly, and thank you for not swearing on air. Because they want to learn about Parliament too, which is fantastic. So
this is just another reason not to vote for the NDP. So
yeah, because they swear.
So, but it was interesting because like there was a bit of footage at the beginning that I cut out just for time, and it was Don Davies coming up when he was announced, and everyone was like, yeah, like nobody was expecting anything.
No.
Well, they were expecting
excellent.
They were expecting the average NDP performance. And I think after that first joke, everyone's like, okay, what's going on? What are we in for? So that was amazing. And you know what? I think we all need a really good laugh, and I think that was very timely. So that was bloody amazing. So even though I'm not related to him, Congratulations on that wonderful performance, Mr. Davies. You still need to come on the show. We've made inquiries. We will make more inquiries for you to come on the show.
You know, I kind of feel like, especially after this roast, that he would be very suitable for the permanent leader, because he seems like he wants to take the NDP a little bit closer to the middle, like still having that socialist element, which, I mean, if that's what you want to vote for, that's fine, but without all that identity politics and DEI and all that other garbage.
Yeah, you don't. It's okay to be inclusive of you know, that demographic, but the problem is as we said before, the more inclusive you try to be, the more exclusive you are, because you end up saying, well, you know, we're only going to be including these people because they're the ones that are hard done by. Well, if you exclude everybody else, how do you have a party? How do you have membership? You're basically telling everybody, no, you don't apply. We don't need you. Despite the fact that the main demographic, like it or not, that participates the most in politics is going to be men. So if you exclude them, then you are self-sabotaging your own party. So this is where I'm hopeful that Heather McPherson, like, again, I don't want the NDP to do well. I want them to do well enough to drag down the Liberals, right? You want the Liberals, as they're trying to get back in the boat, you want the NDP to be climbing on their back, pulling them down with them.
Right, like, I don't think you and I would vote for the NDP ever, but you still want them to be a competitive party.
Well, and I can still objectively talk about their strategy,
Yeah.
right? That's the point. I'm never going to vote for the NDP. I don't agree with their policies. But, you know, when I'm being objective and I'm putting myself in their leadership position, I can say, this is what I would do. This is who I would vote for. And if you're Heather McPherson, I think I said it during the debate, it was very good that she didn't bring up any of this gender ideology garbage during the debate that some of the others did.
Yeah.
So, because otherwise that's alienating people that you need to vote for the NDP.
Exactly.
When you're that far down, you can't afford to exclude anybody. So.
All right, can I turn the cat camera on now?
Sure.
Okay.
And I'll get back to the administrative items. Whoo, doggy, folks. That was insane. Jenker for $2. Public servants work for us, right? Well, that's the idea. And Gordon Muir for $2. Cat cam, please. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's number 2. Let's see. Oh, no, it's this one. Let me know when it's ready.
It's pretty much good. I'm just kind of adjusting it.
There you go, folks. There's Proxy and Pazuzu. And let's see all the chat going nuts now.
There you go, guys. I got you a 2-for-1. Sort of.
Quentin Begamery for $7. Cochrane looked like he was getting upset with Bob Fife for agreeing with the Conservatives over LNG to Asia. Right? Who's that? Who is that, Bob Fife? He's on that crazy left-wing paper.
No, they said he's not a regular panelist and he's not a CBC he's not a regular CBC employee. He's just a panelist, therefore they can't control what he says.
Who are these people?
Is that what they told us?
Something like that. Rick Liard for $50. Thank you very, very much for that. Last Sunday, Nano's poll called and asked for my email for a poll. They were to send me the link within 24 hours. When I got the link on Wednesday, I clicked it right away and was told the poll was over. I guess they made sure only libs could respond.
That's bizarre.
And Jeffrey Dunn for $5. Did you hear about Ericsson getting 3 billion Canadian EDC? Same time offer offspring 100 jobs that India. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. And for $7, thank you very, very much. This is Heather Marie. Gibo spits when he gets excited in question 3. I think he just spits when he gets excited, period. Like he looks like a Boston Terrier in human form, is what he looks like.
The Boston Terriers are cute. Come on.
Or Scottish Terrier. That's the one I'm thinking. But, regardless.
Scotties are even cuter.
He's all disheveled, and he has, like, the mustache, right? So, and he's always salivating all over the place. And Feiston for a $5 super sticker. Thank you very much. And for $2...
How dare you?
Ryan and Tanya, I look nothing like Greta. I'll take your word for it, but that's your name.
And thank you to Gordon Meir gifting 20 Northern Perspective memberships. Thank you so
very
much.
much, Gordon. Curdy for $20. I was at the Christmas parade in Burlington today and saw Emily Brown comfort
awesome.
a woman who recently lost her husband after hearing the Piper's Band, who he loved. Bless the Conservatives and their representatives.
Emily's such a wonderful person.
She's phenomenal.
She really
is. I'm hoping she's going to be running in the next election. So we'll see if they confirm her again.
And thank you to Evelyn Churin with 10 Northern Perspective gifted memberships. Thank you.
And Legion 14 for $2, trying to buy tools to send us to Ukraine. Yeah. And Joe Benoit, welcome to NPSA Porter. Thank you very, very much. And Stickman SK, or is this just SK? I'll make sure. Stickman SK. A member for 16 months. Our Conservative MP has already announced that she is not running again. Pierre would be a good fit here in our riding in Saskatchewan. Just saying. Maybe that's going to happen. Maybe. And for $2, this is from Michael N. Thank you very, very much. Ryan seems to be able, yes and no questions, no. What? Am I having a seizure or are you? Like, I don't know what's going on there. Thank you very much for that. And this is my perspective. Member for 13 months.
How dare you?
Insinuate furry babies just lays around. They offer great comfort to all. Add a smile on all our faces. Love to the furry babies. There you go. And
they are wonderful.
Yeah, they're still there. And Anubis Hades for $5. Did you see the speaker got nailed? Liberal holds up the Green Book in the House of Commons. Conservatives called it out as a prop. The budget book was a prop. Gotta love it.
That's right. You can have like the Green Book in front of you and you can be referring to it like this, but the second you hold it up, it becomes a prop. And I actually caught one time within the past few weeks that Pierre was doing that with a piece of paper and the speaker didn't scold him when I was fully expecting him to. So yeah, don't hold your stuff up.
Probably should have.
He probably should have. To be absolutely fair and to go by the rules that are in the Green Book, he should have been told not to use a prop.
Even if because Pierre's like, I'm referring to a full comprehensive list of all of Mark Carney's accomplishments. So that's fine. You were referring to it, but the minute you turn it around
and hold it up to the cameras, that's when it becomes a prop, and you're not allowed to do that.
He tried to do that with the book 1984, either in 2024 or 2023. I can't recall. HC Dave for $2. Anybody see Michelle Rempel's tabbouleh salad post? Nope, I did not see that. And Heather Marie for $7. Italian PM Georgia Maloney stating Elon Musk is not a danger to democracy. George Soros is. Love her. I still remember when Justin Trudeau went over and was criticizing Italians' treatment of gays and lesbians to her face, and her daggers in her eyes. And I'm just thinking, what are you doing, Justin?
Well, and it's like we've got all these people who are like, they don't have homes, they're homeless and are addicted to drugs. But sure, let's criticize the Italian prime minister, where, by the way, the vast majority of the population in Italy is Catholic. So let's criticize her about
manage your own house.
Well, I think it was specifically to do with either same-sex unions or how they adopt children or something in that regard. It was a little while ago, so I don't recall. But still, the point being, you've got Canadians living in poverty, and like Ryan said, get your own house in order.
Yeah. Joe Mama for $5. What do you think about Jolie Grant sitting and saying the feds are going to sue Stellantis and that it is in default because they left with the money? Show me. Show me. The Conservatives are going to be all over that. and that's why they asked Teresa Perusa, so have you been served yet? Now, as I said in the video, it's unreasonable to say, well, we're going to sue somebody, and then a day later, you know, the lawsuit is served to them. That's not reasonable. But yeah, let's see it happen. It'll be the first time I've heard of the Liberals going after any money in the last 10 years to get it back, other than the CRA. So we'll see. But yeah, I think it was... I'm holding judgment. Because if they do happen to go after them, sure.
Did you want to start question period now?
Sure. Hopefully everybody likes the new intro.
Oral questions.
Oral questions.
Oral questions.
Let's be careful about some of the words we use. People are watching at home. Their kids are watching.
The irony.
So their kids are definitely watching Mr. Davies and Mr. Davies.
the irony that I put that together. That's so funny. Okay.
Again, had no idea. So it is NP question period time, which means you can ask us the questions. Just tag Barnaby in the chat at Barnaby from Northern Perspective with your question, and he will copy and paste them up to us. So let's get started. First one is from Craftworks0243. It says, during question period, lying and evading questions seems to be without consequence. During committee hearings, it seems to be way different. Can you comment?
Yes. It's actually because, ironically, when you're in question period, all when you're in the House, I should say, all MPs have the same privilege. And it's different when you walk outside of those doors. But when you walk into the House of Commons, like actually into that house where they sit down and stand and vote and everything like that, that is it's a magical space in the country where the MPs, they can say almost anything without repercussion at all. So that's supposed to be able to allow them to speak with unfettered honesty, without any fear of reprisal, without any fear of defamation suits, civil suits, this type of thing. The only thing they can't do is commit a criminal act. That's the only thing that doesn't protect them in the House of Commons. So
yeah, so if you get into the House of Commons as an MP and you're like, hey, I killed a guy last week, they're not, like, that's not protected.
Or if you go in there and you're inciting people to violence and things like that, and you're actively telling people, you know, go and storm the House of Commons and commit violence against people, you cannot do that either.
No, you can't do that.
So that's the intent of it. And this is where we always talk about when we're reviewing legislation, where we review, you know, what's the good that's intended to do, but you also have to look at what is the other extreme, how could it be taken advantage of, and any potential loopholes. And this is, again, this comes from a time where politicians were more revered and they were expected to act more honorable than they were. And if they were caught to be acting dishonorably, then their whole community would ostracize them. And that's without social media. So...
Right. It was kind of like if you were found to be acting dishonorably, you would resign to try to restore some of that honor.
So no BS. What is question period now intended to do? Well, question period, in my opinion, it's intended to be a mini campaign for the opposition, because it's almost their only opportunity to score points against the government.
Well, and they also know it's their most televised segment of the House of Commons. I mean, think of yourself. Are you watching the House of Commons at 10 a.m. when they open up? Probably not. We're not. You know, we watch question period, we watch committee, but even a lot of Canadians don't really watch committee. Like, it's question period that everybody watches.
Well, and the other thing is I'm not aware of anywhere, doesn't mean there's not, but I'm not aware of anywhere that is actually actively streaming committee outside of independent media. And before independent media started, and that's only in the last 2 years, I'm not aware of any media that was actually streaming debates in the House of Commons and committees in the House of Commons. All that was streamed that's on CPAC is question period. That's it.
Well, and I'm even less aware of anybody else who might be providing like full commentary on committee or debate or what have you.
Oh yeah, like there's virtually nobody, right?
Yeah,
So
it's slim pickings. Like when I remember, I think it was Garnet Jennis and Larry Brock were doing kind of like a stream back and forth to each other, and Garnet had made the comment that I'd never heard of people actually wanting to watch committee with color commentary before.
yeah, and he's still amazed by this.
Yeah.
He brings it up all the time. He's like, it blows my mind.
Yeah, when we speak to him, yeah.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, yeah, it's almost like a sporting event to folks when there's a major committee investigation going on, and people will say, I'm not going to watch the hockey, I'm not going to watch the baseball game, I'm going to watch this instead.
Well, because that's where you actually see how our government works, and question period is more like theater, where committee is like the nuts and bolts.
Well, and it's where you can see some of the more down to earth discussions, and you get some sort of satisfaction based on some of the things that are going on, and you can actually see some actions come out of, motions and reports and votes, amendments on bills and things like that. So you can actually see some tangible things happen in committee, whereas nothing happens in question period other than sound bites and attempts at the opposition to score points at the government, and the government is just standing up and saying, we're doing a great job. So
next question is from Jessica Van Luke. It says, do you think Ross or Gunn will give up their seats to run for the BC Conservative leadership race? Been hearing lots of rumors about this.
No idea. We haven't talked to anybody about any of that.
If I had to guess, like, this is just my opinion, this isn't based on anything I know or anyone I've talked to. Aaron Gunn is a new MP, so although they go back and forth between different levels of government sometimes, I think that typically you have someone who's going to run for leadership who's going to be a little bit more experienced, because I believe this is Aaron Gunn's first time as an MP.
Politician, yeah.
Yeah, so is that going to stop him? Who knows, right? I have no inside information on this one, but just kind of based on trends, I would say I wouldn't expect him to, but it's entirely possible.
Yeah. It's kind of a mess, what's going on out in BC. So I don't know who would be the best fit. We're not really sure of the BC Conservatives, main platform. So it's probably similar to the actual Conservatives, but from what we know, but who knows?
Next question is from Don B. It says, in our last exciting chapter, Parliament was prorogued. Can Carney prorogue an already prorogued Parliament to avoid non-confidence votes, etc.? So this is a new Parliament. This is Parliament 45. The one with Justin Trudeau where he prorogued Parliament was Parliament 44. After a general election, it gets a new number. So it's Parliament 44 right now. The Prime Minister can prorogue Parliament pretty much at any time and pretty much for any reason.
Many Prime Ministers do. So
yeah. Sometimes they just prorogue it for like a day or two just to reset the agenda, have a new speech from the throne, and then they'll continue from there. There was a interview we did back in February or March, perhaps, with Andrew Scheer, and he was explaining how the parliamentary budget cycle works and that there's certain times that you can and cannot prorogue Parliament. So I can't remember what the dates are off the top of my head.
Well, you can't prorogue when there's going to be supply votes, right? Because the government needs funding.
Yeah. So
you have to be in the House to actually vote for that. And if you're not, then the government shuts down and people don't get paid.
So I guess the question is, can you prorogue Parliament, have your supply vote, and then prorogue Parliament again? And the answer is, I believe you can, but it's really going to upset the voters.
You technically can, but
Yeah.
remember, after every prorogation, you come back to a confidence vote.
Right.
So good luck.
Yeah, the voters are going to be very upset, and even people in your own party might not be voting confidence in you if you're just proroguing.
So, I could Carney prorogue when they're set to come back next year? Sure, he could. My response to that is go for it. See what happens.
It's not going to be a good look for the Liberals.
It's going to be a terrible look. Yeah. Going to be an absolutely terrible look because they will just get crucified. There will be a parade of people from the Bloc, the NDP, and the Conservatives going out to mainstream media reminding Canadians that, hey, remember that guy that kept saying that this was a crisis of our lifetimes and, you know, we need to be acting, we need to be doing this and that and this and that. Hey, remember that justice bill that they were going to pass to deal with the bail reform? Yeah, since they prorogued, that's off the table now too. So, Canadians, this government is not serious. They don't care, and they're not working for you right now. And we already had the previous Liberal government do the exact same thing. Isn't it time we have a new government that actually spends time in the House instead of going on vacation? So that's what you would hear. So if Carney wants to do that, go for it. See what happens.
Next question is from Repeat in BC. It says, I am particularly concerned about the words of Fraser and Miller calling statements from the Bible hate crimes. Will you be covering this? So I know we talked about Bill C-9 very briefly. I think we did a short on it.
No, well, we did. I did a full video breaking it down, breaking down the bill, and then did a discussion with John Carpe on it as well.
To focus specifically on that.
Yeah,
issue.
I'm gonna wait and see what happens, and we'll probably check in with some of the people on the Justice Committee to see if they know what's going to happen. If they come back and say that this is shelved, it's gone, then I'm not going to worry too much about it, because that means you don't need to worry too much about it. That means it's not going to see the light of day. And this is what we said before, right? Bills like these terrible bills, like I think one was C8 and then C9. It's unlikely they'll get out of committee. So we will see what happens. If it does come back, you better believe we're going to be covering it, 100%. But if it doesn't, we're not going to really spend a lot of time on it, because it's not going to be worth the time if it's never going to see the light of day, if that makes sense.
This is from Katarina Waite. It says, what type of books do you enjoy? I love murder mysteries. Comic books. Yes, I have all my comic books on this side of the room. And not even all of them, because I'm missing a box. I can't find my Walking Dead series, and they're in that box wherever it is in this house. So, yeah.
There's very few books that grab me, but I do like by far and away, and the one that I think I've read twice, and I've never ever read a book twice, never mind a series twice, is Orson Scott Card's Ender Game series. Really solid series, and there's a whole bunch of themes and philosophical questions that it deals with. So it kind of it mixes possible future sci-fi with fictional future sci-fi, and a lot of basic philosophy questions about death, questions about personality and faith, and it's just really good series.
I should probably be a little more specific. So I think two of my favorite series are Fables and what's the other one? Fables and Why the Last Man. That one's really cool, because it's like, what happened if all male creatures just suddenly died, just suddenly disappeared, and would the world continue? What would happen? And it's very interesting. It's not like a feminist manifesto or anything like that. It's actually really good.
Because there's this guy that comes down.
There's one guy that survives.
He comes down from the space station, and he's literally the last man on Earth.
No, that's not quite how it happens, but yeah.
Then I'm misremembering it.
But it was good. I think you read part of it, and it's an old series too, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, it is good from what I read.
Yeah, like I said, it's not.
But again, that's that futuristic kind of sci-fi thing that I like.
Very cool. Next question is from Kali DAO. It says, any news on Bill C-246? So I have that up on my screen. It is currently in second reading, and that's all they have. It was
Which one is it?
246, an act to amend the criminal code, consecutive sentences for sexual offenses. Is this the one?
It's not Bailey's Law.
No, it's not Bailey's Law. Okay, that's the one I was thinking of.
I don't think so anyway.
So it's currently in debate. So they gave the major speeches on Thursday, December the 4th. And I imagine they'll be continuing with that.
I think the Conservatives had asked for unanimous consent for this one, and the Liberals voted that down. Like they didn't vote it down, but they didn't let it pass with unanimous consent. So there was some media coming out from the Conservatives about that the other day. But C-225, that's Bailey's Law, that did pass, I believe. So because I think they were celebrating that victory. So.
I'm not seeing any votes on the bill yet.
Yeah, so
it may not be completed second reading. Like they could still be discussing it.
Have they done?
I'm not seeing any. You see recorded votes. There are no recorded votes.
Have they done any days on it though? On second
they've
reading?
done one.
Okay.
For second
so they've started
reading.
debate.
I'm going to drop that link in the chat for you guys, just so that you all have it in case you'd like to look at it. This is one of the websites that we use the most. It's called Legisinfo, and you can look up any bill. The thing you need to be careful about though is because the bill numbers repeat with every parliament, you have to make sure that you're looking at the current data. Or like if you want the one from say last parliament, like if you want bill C4 from last parliament, you need to make sure that you're looking at the 44th parliament or the 43rd and so on. So just be cautious of that when you're looking. Next question is from Jessica Van Luke. It says, do you think the Conservatives can somehow restrict late-term and special needs abortions without losing a big amount of their voters or swing voters?
Not right now. If that's going to be on the agenda, it's going to be probably in a second term. So could they? Maybe, but...
I'm not sure how they would do it with the charter being the way it is.
Yeah, I like
from a legal standpoint.
I'm just saying, could they?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they could.
Well, they might be able to, but will they? I don't think they're going to go near abortion at all, like at all. It would be in the next election they would get crucified because you just gave the Liberals their rallying cry. Yeah.
But again, looking at the charter, I don't think it's possible given our laws. This is from Lorna. Lorna I5F. It says, "Can Carney buy $4 billion in booms? Why can't I buy bourbon?"
These are the questions we need answers
to. Discussion Corner asks, "What does tourist page mean? I've never heard of it before."
Oh, like just like a Facebook page. Like there's these Facebook pages that are called like Destination Canada or Destination Tourism, and they're just they're allegedly Facebook tourism pages.
But they're possibly AI.
But they are, and they have like 30,000 followers somehow, and they're just relaying liberal propaganda, which is very interesting.
Oh, you're gonna have to hit the meme for this one.
Oh, okay.
How dare you?
Asks, what will happen to Canada if we in Alberta go independent?
It's going to be a mess.
I think it's going to be a mess for everybody if that happens.
It would be an utter mess.
Yeah.
Canada has a problem because now there's a country within a country. Alberta has a problem because it's now landlocked on all sides.
Well, and then you have to arrange for things that you were getting through Canada as a nation, such as passports, currency, military, like things that the federal government is currently taking care of. Alberta would have to do on its own. And instead of having just like a small international border with the States, now you're an international border on all sides.
It would be a mess. It would be a big mess. I'll just leave it at that because it's a very, very complex issue, and I think all sides lose personally. But and there's a difference of opinion on that, and that's okay.
If you remember when India and Pakistan split, when was it, in the 40s? I think a lot of people died. Like,
well, we're not going to see that.
No, but like it was tough, and bad things did happen, right?
So.
Chris Accurate asks, will Carney stay as Liberal leader if he loses the next election? I think not.
If he loses, I expect him to be gone. He's not going to run. He's not going to do anything. Even if he wins his riding, he'll resign. He'll be gone. That's my guess.
Yeah, that is my guess as well. Again, we don't have any insider info on that one, but I think all things considered, it's a good assumption.
Most executives, when they see things starting to go downhill, they leave.
Enron. This is from Mama Philly. It says, do they think Carney's big projects were all chosen because many probably won't ever happen? The one in New Brunswick fell through already.
Yeah, and the narrative on these projects too is kind of ridiculous, because he's trying to put all this focus on, look at these projects that we're getting done. Well, time out, Carney. There's all these other projects that are not getting done because of all these other laws. So you're sitting there saying, look, we're with the major projects office is approving these projects, but you're not actually getting all these other ones done. You're holding everything back. So you're actually making it worse. You're highlighting the issue is that all these other projects aren't getting done. And you're trying to gatekeep this and say, whoa, we're the ones that get to decide which businesses get to actually invest in like it's pretty ridiculous the way it's actually set up. To me, it really shines a spotlight on all of the legislative problems in Canada.
Next question is from Janet Kretschmer. It says, can Ryan and Tanya weigh in on the $3.7 billion of bombs Carney purchased from the U.S.?
Of bombs?
Bombs, B-O-M-B-S.
I don't think there's... I guess what I would say is we spend lots and lots of money on arms from the U.S. every year. This isn't one that's really, raising my eyebrows, because I don't think it was actually Carney. I think that this is going through the
Minister of Defense.
Well, and this is at the request of the, Canadian military, right? We also need lots of ammunition because we gave all our ammunition to the Ukraine, right? Mm-hmm. So we actually need to rearm our forces. So I'm not too fussed about that. What I am fussed about is that Carney signed this, defense deal to join, the European Defense Agency. And it's like, yay, my allies are halfway across the world versus the most powerful army in the world right across the border from me. But I'm going to join in with the European, like it's a joke. It really is.
Jessica Van Luke asks, curious to know the process to trying to get an interview with people like Harper, Pierre, or other political figures. I think it depends on who it is.
It takes a lot of effort.
For example, like we had been volunteering with our old EDA, which was under Dan Muse. So we were able to just ask, like, hey, Dan, when you have some time, would you like to come on the show? And, he was more than happy to do so. Same with Ned, our new EDA and our new writing. We were just kind of able to be like, hey, do you want to come on the show? And sure thing. With some MPs, we email them and the staff will arrange something. Some MPs, we have gone to events where we meet them and we tell them who we are and what we do and give them a card. And then we work with their staff to arrange an interview. With Pierre's folks, it was going through the staff. So it really depends on the person, what kind of relationship you have with them. Also, I think it really depends on what we're doing. Now, that's not to say that politicians only come on our show if we agree with everything they say, because that's completely false. It's just that, are we conducting ourselves in a professional manner? What is our editing like? Are we editing things out of context? Are we making it seem like they said things that they didn't say? Or are we honest? What are our questions like? Are our questions, again, honest? Are they deceptive? These sorts of things.
Well, and it takes a lot of credibility, right? And I remember shortly after Jasmine got her interview with Pierre, and there were some comments on social media about the fact that that she got an interview and these other channels didn't. And it was interesting to see that dynamic. And Jasmine, to her credit, pushed back and said, I worked my butt off to get this interview, and I've been working on it for months. And
Well, and she did, and she's credible.
but that's the point. Some people, not anybody in this chat, but some people think that, oh, we just like tap an MP on the shoulder and then they come on the show. I wish it was like that. But it wasn't always like that. It took months and months and months and months and months and months and months of communicating, pounding on the door, so to speak, and also trying to ensure that we're presenting our everyday episodes as credible, because that has an impact on what MPs and if MPs from any party are going to come on the show. So it's a lot of careful work, both in the show to make sure that we're presenting ourselves as professional as possible, and we know that, or any politician that we're talking with, because we've had former Liberals, we've had current party Liberals on, not MPs, but folks that are high up in the executive world, and they come in and chat with us, and we disagree on almost everything, but we have the conversation. But it's not about agreeing or not agreeing. It's about,
Basically, we've built this brand, Northern Perspective. Actually, if you go back 2 weeks, you can see Vesper kind of talking about this. And you've built this brand that, what do we want Northern Perspective to be? We want it to be professional, we want it to be respectful, and we want it to be accurate and truthful. So those are the kinds of interviews that we're seeking. And then people who want that for their persona or their brand, hopefully will want to seek Northern Perspective as a place to do an interview, because we have those values.
Right. And we also, we're very upfront with everybody that we do an interview with, in that this isn't about gotcha moments, and we always make the offer to review footage. It's almost never taken, just because after the interview, they see, okay, there were no gotcha questions here, there was no gotcha moments, because that's not what it's about.
And we've had a few people on who aren't politicians, and they've been very nervous about coming on the show and, being on camera and being broadcast to hundreds of thousands of people. And so we offer them, like, listen, we'll let you see the footage beforehand, just so you can see that we're not trying to do anything deceptive.
Yeah, and in all of those cases, many of them ask to see the footage, but then they see it and they say, "Oh,
that's fine.
That actually looks really good. Thank you very much." So it's a lot of work, a lot of coordination. Sometimes you book an interview, and then it's reschedule, and then it happens 2 months later, or you have the expectation you're going to get an interview, and then politics like Pearl Line, anything can happen, anyone can win, and then it just sometimes it doesn't happen, or we're chasing somebody. So we were trying to have, I forget who it was, it was somebody on one of the committees, and they said, we actually had the one of the directors of communication contact us and say, well, we can't get them, but how about Andrew Scheer? And we're like, okay. So
yes, amazing, thank you. Andrew's an awesome guy.
So sometimes you get somebody that you didn't even expect.
Yeah.
So, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of establishing your brand, establishing good faith, and that's why I was really annoyed when a bunch of people came after Jasmine, basically saying, well, why do you get? Well, give the woman credit. She busted her butt, worked her ass off, earned the interview, and got it. Like you don't be taken away from that. That was it's a lot of work, and we commend anybody for it. So.
Next question is from Deem Sumius. It says, was wondering what happened to the situation between Northern Perspective and Spencer from MCGA.
Wondering what?
Sorry, I'll blow it up for you.
Oh.
So it's still an active legal matter.
Yeah. We had mentioned that we're not going to be litigating it in the court of public opinion. So it's out of respect for the parties involved. But we've submitted hundreds of pieces of evidence, and it is now moving along. So
This one is from Strange Brew. It says, I'm concerned about Pierre's leadership review. I believe the cons overwhelmingly want him, but nefarious actors may ramp up efforts to get him kicked out. It's going to be tough. Like the delegate process is that with your EDA, you have to be voted in. Now, some EDAs don't have enough people volunteering to be delegates. Like you might get 3 people who want to go, and each one can send up to 10. So, I mean, can bad actors sneak into those EDAs? Maybe. But with us, it almost came to a vote. We had one extra person, and that extra person was new to the area and had said, you know, I want to go to Calgary. I want to be involved. And he was asked, would you go as an alternate instead? So you don't necessarily get to vote unless somebody doesn't show up. But you still get to go to the conference. You still get to go to Calgary, and you still get to be like part of everything. You just don't get to vote. And the individual had said, yes, that's fine. There was one EDA we had heard of where they had 25 people put their names forward, and they had to go to a vote. And it took an hour and a half to select the delegates because it's a ranked ballot. So it just kept going like around and around and around. So I don't really know how people can like get to be a delegate unless they are already part of their EDA.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Like,
yeah.
like
you have to be a member for so long too. I can't remember what it is. 2 months maybe?
No, I think it's more than that.
It's more than that.
And the EDA is going to want to know who you are, right? Because you're representing the EDA. So
yeah, like I remember there was another individual from our EDA who had this is different from the first guy, but had kind of like lived in the area but wasn't within the boundaries, and he wasn't able to get in as a delegate with our EDA because ours was full. But they said, you know, we'll try to find you somewhere in the area, in which case he'd have the backing of the MP, no doubt.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's not just an easy process, but you could get like a group of people who are conservative, who are involved in their EDA and just want Pierre out and vote against him. I don't know. But talking to our EDA, everybody's on board. Jessica Van Luke asks, if the Carney Liberals vote for it and the Trudeau Liberals vote against the tanker bill, will it still be enough to pass?
Yes. 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 Yeah, I would. If you assume that the Carney...
So if you assume that 143 Conservative MPs are voting for it, you just need another, what, 29?
Correct. You need 29. So you need 20% roughly of the Liberal caucus. So
yeah. So maybe.
It would likely pass.
John Molnar asks, I believe most of the part-time jobs were seasonal for Christmas. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes, I think. Did we do a report on
the first time? We did on the one for October and November.
No, but the one that just came out.
No.
Okay. I will find that report and put it. Maybe I'll put it in the description of this video and also as a post on the YouTube community so that you can look at it. But when you open it up, it says that the majority of the jobs, like 50,000, were for young people, which those people do need jobs. They're the highest unemployed in the country, but also that the overwhelming majority of them were part-time.
Yep.
So to me, that says seasonal. John Mann asks, has Canada financially crossed the point of no return? If not, what is the point of no return?
No.
I think when we default on interest payments, no?
Which would never happen. There isn't a point of no return. Okay, technically there is, but we're it all it's hard to answer just because it depends on who's in power. It depends on what they do. I won't go to the hypothetical. What I'll go is to the practical. So the practical is, are we in danger of like full-on economic collapse in Canada in the next 5 years. I don't believe we are. What we are in danger of is many Canadians dealing with serious economic issues. So I'm not worried about the government. I'm worried about Canadians. And it's going to get more and more difficult over the next couple of years because things aren't changing. So it's going to be squeezing Canadians more and more and more. That's what I worry about. And many Canadians will tell you that they're already, past the point of no return. They don't know how they can dig out of it, that's the tragedy of Canada right now.
Jill Mack asks, why would Carney and Trump want to make deals? Trump and Carney have similar interests and both are with USA Investments. They are friends.
I don't know if they're friends. I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that. The fact that Carney asks for Trump to, respect Canada's sovereignty, and Trump keeps putting out these troll remarks. In spite of that, I would say that that Trump doesn't really have a lot of respect for Carney. But it's hard. Like, Trump is the ultimate troll, right? One minute he'll say, I like Mark Carney. I like Mark Carney, and then another one like, we're gonna gobble them up. They're the 51st state. Like, in my humble opinion, if Trump actually respected Carney, he's not going to be making those other remarks.
Right.
So I don't think they're friends.
I mean, you do make those kinds of jokes with your buddies, right?
In private, not on the political stage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's something that you would be saying in front of the cameras.
Right. Like, especially guys.
Guys rib each other all the time.
If you're not making fun of each other, then you're like, dude, are we okay? Right? It's when you're, like in private, when you're just treating each other like, distantly, and you're not really saying anything, and you're being like overly polite, that's when something's wrong. But this is a different ball game. It's a different arena. So and Carney's core ideology, which is his net zero stuff, is completely at odds with Trump's thought, right? Trump wants to drill, baby, drill. That's what he says, right? So, but I think what Carney did is he took a lot of things from Trump's playbook and implemented them into the Liberal campaign. I think that's what he did. And that's probably why people think he's kind of friendly with Trump, but it's ridiculous with Carney. My brain just hurts thinking about how he's been playing this, because it's so at odds with what he has been literally writing about in his books.
Raichi88 asks, will the next Attorney General MP Brock have the authority to change judges at the Supreme Court? That is a big impediment to progress in Canada.
So they typically don't switch out judges until they retire or pass away.
Because I think the thing about judges is that, because they were lawyers usually at one point in time, and they just have like this wealth of knowledge, and that's how they're able to do the job that they do, because they've seen it all before.
That's how they're supposed to, yes.
Yeah. And that's why I think they retire like into their 70s and 80s. Like, they stick around for a while because you need that life experience to do that job.
Well, and they enjoy doing it, right?
Yeah, that too.
But it wouldn't be Larry Brock that would be doing it. It's the Prime Minister that selects the federal judges, and
I think the provincial ones too, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't believe so. I think the provincial court judges are selected by the premiers, I believe.
I thought it was all by the Prime Minister. We'll look it up later. Jeff McQuiggan asks, I tried to get a Liberal answer from a Hamilton MP, but was denied because I don't live in their riding. I was directed back to Ned Couric. Where can I ask a Liberal MP a question to get a balanced answer? I would probably say, if you're not getting it from the MP directly, see if you can just speak to the staff, especially if it's a policy question. The staff should know what the answer is because typically when you have a Liberal MP, the people working in their office are Liberals. They've worked on the campaign. They may donate to the party. They may be part of the party. So they should know what the policy question and answer is. Honestly, I'm not too sure outside of that where you can get another answer like from a Liberal specifically. Just because, again, when you're working with things at the federal level, you're expected to go through your own MP. So if your MP is Ned, maybe you can even ask Ned or Ned's staff. Again, we know Ned's staff very well, and they're all very friendly, knowledgeable guys. You can ask them, hey, do you know what the Liberal policy is regarding X, Y, and Z? And they may be able to give you an answer too.
So I was right. The provincial courts are selected by the provincial justice committees and the Minister of Justice for the province.
Well then, I guess I learned something new.
But the federal courts, that is chosen by the Prime Minister.
This is from Peter Engelman. It says, I was wondering if Ryan and Tanya saw Wayne Long in committee. Boy, did he try to look important, way too arrogant. Was that the one with Ned?
Yeah, we did.
I was gonna say, I did see that one.
We did a bit of a video on that the other day, and yeah, he was trying to look important, and he probably got a talking to when he got back to Carney's office. Let's just say that.
This is from Repeat in BC. It says, Ryan and Tanya, did you see that Michelle Ferrari has joined Kate Alexander's EVE organization as vice president?
Yes.
Great news. We did. We sent her congratulations. That's fantastic. Both Kate and Michelle are incredible women, and we're so thrilled that they're working on
Dynamic
this project.
duo.
Yeah.
So we'll do a couple more.
This is from Stephen Tingley. It says, if I was Prime Minister, I would love to see your show live on CTV at 10 p.m. No more late night news, only YouTubers till midnight on CTV, Global, and CBC. That'd be fun.
We're actually, just for fun, trying to see how much it would cost for us to get Northern Perspective on like real TV.
I'm going to assume it's cost prohibitive. Yes.
But just for fun, we're seeing how much it would take to get it on there.
He's seeing.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Raichi88 asks, should the Conservatives promise a 20% tax cut across the board? They can win decisively if they promise things Carney possibly cannot match.
So the catch with that is if you're doing a 20% tax cut, what do you mean, right? Is that 20% total? Because that is a massive amount of revenue that you're taking out of the government. And if you're taking revenue out of the government, that's fine. You have to make corresponding cuts across the government. Where is that going to come from? So that's the first part. If you're saying 20% of a tax bracket, that's a lot more palatable. Which tax bracket are you going to take that from? And again, that's more revenue. So you have to be able to offset that with, spending that you're not going to implement in your budget. Otherwise, you're lying, and people aren't going to like that.
Well, and you have to make it realistic, or else people will know you're lying and won't vote for you.
But, but you're right in that Pierre needs to figure out a campaign platform that Carney either couldn't or wouldn't promise. So one thing he could do is, you're going to have a east-west pipeline and a west-east pipeline, right? So you're going to have one that goes out to the Pacific Ocean and one that goes out to the Atlantic Ocean. And if he wants to throw another one in, one that goes up north for the summer, right? So he could do things like that. How are you going to do that? Well, you need private investors for that, and that's where that's kind of open to scrutiny. But he could say, I'm going to repeal C-69, like things that he said in the last one, which didn't get a lot of attention. But he could highlight that more because of Carney's failure in his major projects office. So he could say, listen, this is why none of this worked, is because all the legislation was still there. And really make that a pinnacle pillar in his next campaign. I'm going to remove all of that legislation, and then we don't need a major projects office. I can cut that bureaucracy, and now we're going to be open for business. So that's just an example, but you're bang on in that he needs to think of things to put in that platform that Carney couldn't or wouldn't do.
This is another one from Ryuchi88. It says, are people allowed to door knock starting from now with EDAs to get a head start for the CPC? Yes, absolutely. If you are with an EDA, they will arrange door knocking. Don't just go door knocking on your own. Make sure you're doing it with the EDA, through the EDA, with their permission.
It's also a lot easier when people start yelling at you because when you're saying, "Hi, I'm Ryan, and I'm here on behalf of," it's a lot easier, and you feel a lot more comfortable as well.
And the door knocking is not just to talk to people, to give them literature and be like, "Hey, we're here from the Conservative Party. You know, we want you to vote for our candidate in the next election." They also take data. So when you go to a door and somebody says, "Yes, absolutely, I'm going to vote for the Conservatives," there's an app that you record that into. And this is all done again through the EDA. So if you would like to go door knocking, please contact your EDA. Don't just do it on your own, as admirable as it is.
Yeah.
Next question is from Jules F. It says, Ryan and Tanya, have you heard anything about the ruling on the Terrebonne by-election?
Oh, it's funny you say that. So it is being appealed, as we hoped it would be. And that case is going to be heard in February of 2026. So that will be basically the final ruling. And I'm very hopeful. I'm not necessarily optimistic or pessimistic. I don't have a thought that way or the other, but I'm hopeful that this is going to be completely overturned, because that would be a very dangerous precedent to set, in my opinion. And we're trying to get an interview related to that with somebody, but as we said at the beginning, it's hard work, and sometimes you end up with nothing.
Samson Ram asks, has society lost the ability to laugh at itself due to cancel culture? Humor seems so much better back in the 80s on TV and stand-up comedy.
Oh, it's way better. And yeah, people have become way too sensitive, right? This is the problem. When you try to be more inclusive, you end up censoring free speech. Oh, you can't talk that way about that person. There, you have to be more inclusive. No, I am being more inclusive by making fun of them.
It's interesting. I don't know if you guys ever watch the YouTube channel Trigonometry. They talk to a lot of political figures. They talk about a lot of like the society's ills and that sort of thing. It's a really good show, and they were both comedians. And I think it was possibly Francis who had said, like, with this cancel culture stuff, as a comedian, you get your results like right then and there. If you tell a joke and the audience is not laughing, you know not to tell that joke again.
Yeah,
you don't need somebody. Yeah, you don't need somebody going, well, that's offensive.
How dare you?
Exactly, because like you see it, you get your feedback instantly. Like for us here on YouTube, for example, we'll release a video and we might know right away if it's doing poorly. We might not know for a day if it's doing well or not. Like, but with comedy, you get it right then and there.
Look inside yourself, Rosemary.
Yeah, something like that. How many more did you want to do?
Just 2.
Okay. So, Will Kowalchuk asks, is the committee still working on the longest ballot? And if so, can you provide an update?
So they're officially done with the
interviews or the testimony?
hearings? Yeah.
Yeah. But you gave them a lot of evidence to look at.
Yeah, so they are now, the clerks and the staff are working on the report stage.
And the researcher as well, because the committees have access to a researcher.
Yep.
So they're doing like the behind the scenes work, all the paperwork essentially, in order to get the report ready to present to the House of Commons. And last one from Jessica Van Luke. It says, who is your favorite Conservative First Lady and why? I find these women deserve more praise than they usually get. They also dictate their lives to so many charities. That's a tough call. I don't know. It's between Anna and Mrs. Harper. I know Mr. and Mrs. Harper just loved animals, and they did a lot of work for the SPCA. They had feral cats on the grounds of 24 Sussex that they kept, that they provided a home to, but also the cats kept the rodent population under control. And just talking to Anna, I think there's like a more personal connection because her child is autistic the same way that Vincent is autistic. And I think there's like this understanding that you have with somebody who also has a special needs child, because you know what it's like and you know how lonely it can be.
Yeah, you just have to say one sentence and the other person just nods their head and
they just get it.
It's it's unspoken. And the fact that she is so humble, and she's an accomplished lady, like she's no slouch, but her family, came from Venezuela. Like, she didn't grow up with a silver spoon in her mouth, had to work for everything that she got. And shy, as a shy person, and really has to work to put herself out there and do public speaking and that sort of thing. And it's interesting to interact with her and see her off camera, as she's just a very, very sweet lady. So
right, that's it.
That's it. Okay, let's continue with the administrative stuff. Okay. All right. We have Evelyn Churn dropping 10 memberships. Thank you very, very much for that, Evelyn. Janko for $10. I met a blue collar Carl, Facebook Freedom photos at the local metro last week. A lot of people mock him, but his heart is true, and he is at Parliament almost every day. Respect, sir. Oh, there you go. There you go. And Dudu for $5. Christmas question: do your kittens try to climb your Christmas tree too? We're testing that right now.
Yeah, we're testing the theory. The first year that we got Pazuzu, we did find him in the tree, and we did not decorate it. Proxy's actually been pretty good so far. We've only had it up since Friday. So we'll see. I guess we'll let you guys know next Sunday.
Yep. Sparks by Smart for 8 months. I work at Bath and Body Works, and we start hiring for Christmas in August. There's a lot of things to remember, so new people don't get overwhelmed. Exactly. We did the same thing when I used to work at Radio Shack. Heather Murray for $2.79. Don Davies, almost as good as Pierre. Almost. There you go. Janker for $2. Pierre Polyev pulled a Ricky Gervais. Yes, he did. And Evelyn Churn with another 10 memberships. Thank you very, very much for that, Evelyn. Dudu for $5. Well, Davies knows how to make a joke out of past situations and turn it into comedy gold, right? Especially Jake Meat. He crapped on him pretty good. And
he deserves it.
He does. He does. And a Fife for $5. Libs try to violate religious freedom. I'm now revisiting my Catholic roots. Christ is King. God bless NP Nation. Thank you very much for that. And for $5, this is Manav Khurana. Good to see you again. I just met Pierre in York Centre, only Toronto seat CPC 1. Also, my friend weirdly gifted Pierre's favorite type of cheese, which is blue cheese.
Interesting.
Of course, it's blue cheese. Of course.
You don't really like blue cheese. There's this really nice blue cheese that...
I'm just saying, conservative blue. So.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so, but... Yeah. Strong cheeses aren't for everybody, I guess.
I don't like brie because it has no taste. So
yeah, because it's mild. You're supposed to like put stuff on it. Evelyn Churan with 10 Northern Perspective memberships. Thank you so much.
Oh, she dropped on there. Barking up the right tree for $7. Do you know how good of a chance, do you know of a good place online to find detailed pictures of the House of Commons? Going to spend Christmas making a Lego set of it. Thanks, guys. Happy Sunday. Library of Parliament, maybe?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, just Google Library of Parliament. Google does not index what's in the Library of Parliament, so you'll have to poke around.
They have even like the really old photos of the old Parliament before it burned down.
And they also have the old photos of the old Parliament before they moved it to the new temporary Parliament.
Yes.
The one that was in center block. So you might be able to find something in there. Thanks, guys. Happy Sunday. There you go. And Damien McNeil for $20. You say, giddy up, let's go. In rural Cape Breton, we used to say, pitter patter, let's get at her. I know that one.
Love it. That's awesome.
And Evelyn Jurin dropping 5 memberships. Thank you very, very much. A lot of love needs to go to Evelyn after tonight. Thank you very much for that. Lazarus for $2. Don Davies for NDP leader after the epic roasting, right? Too bad he can't as an interim leader. And for $2, thank you very, very much from E10 Squat. Don Davies for NDP leader, right? Carol Riom for a member for 19 months. We no longer have jesters, so we have this instead. Gotta mock the kings to keep them humble somehow. Thanks for everything, Ryan and Tanya. Thank you very much.
Hey, we have Jester in chat tonight. Just saying.
Emotional damage.
Heather Murray for $7. Davies and Pierre acknowledged weaknesses, realized the humor, and understood their strengths. They did well. Yeah, and if you can't laugh at yourself, then
you're doing something wrong.
Well, and politics isn't for you.
Yeah.
So, and for
we're only human, right?
Yeah. For $5, JP Power, thank you very, very much for that. Google search shows that Japan, Korea, France, Italy, Germany, Brazil, and UK and USA have bigger deficits than Canada. Why focus so much on Canada's? Because
that's where I live and I pay the taxes for it.
It's also relative, right? Relative. Many of those countries have bigger deficits than Canada, but they also have much bigger population.
Right, like US is 10 times what we are. Italy is about 2. UK is about 1.5.
And it's not the deficit that's the big problem. It's the debt to GDP ratio. That's the problem. Because if your debt is growing, but it's not growing as much as your GDP is, then you're okay, right? Think of your debt as, let's say you're $100,000 in debt, but you make $200,000 a year. And next year, you're going to be at $105,000 in debt, but you're going to make $250,000 next year. You're feeling okay because your revenue is outpacing, like the increase is outpacing the rate of your debt. So that's when you're saying, you know what, it's okay. We can manage this. The problem with Canada is our GDP is here. So you're making your $100,000 in debt and you have $200,000 in income. But when you go up to $150,000 in debt and you only go up to $210,000 in revenue, now your debt is chasing and gaining on your revenue. That's a problem. And that's even in your personal finances, creditors will look at that and saying, I don't like that. And that will lower your credit score. So this is where the concern is. And it means that Canada's debt servicing costs are unsustainable. That's what the parliamentary budget officer is saying. It's unsustainable because you're going to have to continue to borrow more and more and more and more and more to pay for that ever increasing debt servicing cost. And if your revenue isn't going up to account for that debt servicing cost, then eventually you will run out of runway unless you raise taxes out the yin-yang. So that's why the focus is on Canada's deficit. And when you look at that rank, we are really, really, really far down. Not even just the G7, in the world. We're not doing well when you look at debt to GDP ratio. Okay, but great question. Great question, JP. Will Kalchuk for $2. Come on, all 3,500 likes, gifts on the way. Oh, so we're at 3,047.
It's about 453, 452.
There you go.
Keep hitting that like button.
And for $5, thank you very much. This is the Bear Den Photography. Dogs have owners, cats have staff.
True story.
Please no more Greta. She's nothing but a spoiled brat.
Also true story.
Yeah. And NitoTem888 for $5. Thank you very, very much for that. And for another $5, this is from Michael N. Thank you. It was me. I forgot some words. Not good at multitasking. Ryan can answer yes and no questions. The meme from committee. Sorry, at least it was funny. Oh, yeah.
No.
There you go.
That's what you meant. Okay, so I'm glad I wasn't the one smelling burnt toast. So,
and thank you very much to Paul Prowl Canadian with a $200 super
Holy
chat.
moly, Paul.
It says, "Good evening, Ryan and Tanya. Love the Don Davies roast and the Greta meme. Given the likelihood of a spring/summer election in 2026, in your opinion, what strategically needs to happen to secure a conservative majority government? Thank you in advance. Keep up the amazing work." Thank you very much, Paul. Do you want to answer that one?
Are any liberals listening? If so, turn off. Turn
no
off the
liberals
TV.
allowed to steal our strategy.
So, great question, Paul, and thank you very, very, very much for that. So the first thing they need to do is they need to meet with Steve Outhouse and nail down what their approach is going to be. They need to figure out what is going to be their core plan of attack for going after the Carney Liberals, and the style in which they're going to do that, and the means in which they're going to do that. However they do it, one thing is for certain is they need to learn from the past election and understand that the people that they didn't get through to, they got through to every other demographic, but the people that lagged behind the most, we all know it, it's in that 45, 55 plus demographic, especially women.
And women my age, so like what, 25 to 44 I think is the age bracket. So
the Conservatives cannot count on the NDP, so they also have to make an assumption that the NDP are not going to come back. Assume that they're not. Because if you get caught in this trap of, well, the NDP are going to come back, we don't have to do anything, which would be true if you knew that was going to happen, but you cannot rest on your laurels and start measuring the curtains of the office before you have the election. That's a problem. So they need to assume that the NDP is not coming back, which means that you have to beat the Liberals in a two-party election. So in order to do that, they need to parade Conservatives onto mainstream media. You are not bringing this demographic to your media on social media, so you have to bring the content to those eyeballs. So you have to get on mainstream media, and you have to do that very often, and I mean very often. You also have to remember that the Liberals always run a good campaign. They are very good campaigners. So you need to understand that as well. So take some lessons from the Liberals. What did they do in the last election that was effective for them? And they also need to be first, right? They were first. The Conservatives were first with Trudeau on almost every single issue. And the problem is when Trudeau stepped down, it was almost like they were caught flat-footed. And I kind of understand it, because when you go into a leadership race, you assume Mark Carney is going to be winning, but anything that you say is just not going to get any traction at all, because all of the attention is on the leadership race. So I think they were not first, and they allowed Carney to brand himself, identify himself, and then Canadians were like, that's who Mark Carney is. Okay. Now I'm scared because he's telling me to be scared, and now I believe him. So Mark Carney was allowed to set his narrative, and the Conservatives were playing catch up. So they have to establish what that narrative is going to be leading into the next election. I don't think there's any chance Mark Carney's resigning before the next election, so I don't think they're going to have that problem. So they need to be first. They need to understand how they're going to get to that demographic, including social media. They need to understand how they're going to get to women, and they need to get their candidates ready now. In my humble opinion, if you're expecting a spring election, get your candidates secured and get them out door knocking now. And lastly, someone said it before, make that campaign platform inclusive of really big ticket things that Mark Carney would not go after and would not replicate.
And I think in addition to everything that Ryan said, we as individuals can do something. Don't just sit around, get involved. If you know that you support the Conservative Party and you want to help, reach out to your electoral district association. The nice thing about the Conservative website is that they're all listed. So you just have to find your riding, and then you can send a message to the president.
And that's the last thing that I would say is, if I'm the Conservative Party and the communications team, I'm going to be working them to the bone in having them liaise with all of the electoral district associations across Canada now, especially the ones in the battlegrounds like GTA. The Conservatives must win GTA. I would be working with them to just plan event after event after event to get people out, to get people to understand more about the Conservative Party and be a presence in that riding, whatever riding that you're in. Bring people out, and even people that are Conservatives who wouldn't normally go out. Put on events that are going to get those people out and get them involved. And now you have, a head start on your potential volunteers for your election campaign. So there's a lot that I'd be doing right now. I would also, it's a long list, Paul. It's a long list.
And as individuals, we can talk to the people around us. It's often easier to get somebody who doesn't vote to vote for your party than it is to get somebody who is, for example, a staunch liberal to vote for your party. But talk to these people and just ask them questions. Are you happy with the way things are right now? What do you think of this policy? What do you think of that policy? Or you get those people that are like, well, I don't like Pierre. Well, why don't you like him? What is it about him? Did you know that, he's a family man, that he's been in politics for 20 years, that he has a really firm grasp on this stuff? You guys watch the content on YouTube, so you know what the answers are, but just ask those people around you all these different questions and kind of let them come to their own conclusions, and hopefully it'll change their minds.
And one of the most important things for them to do is completely, utterly, savagely ignore the NDP. Don't even acknowledge they exist, and throw them a bone once in a while in committee, throw them a bone once in a while in the House of Commons. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So although they can't count on the NDP to win back any support, they need to strategically throw them a couple of bones so that they can chip away at the Liberal base, especially when it comes to the environment, right? So I would do that. Oh yeah, that's me.
That is you.
You read it, so that's why I was...
Yeah, because YouTube skipped it.
Yep.
Bad YouTube.
Okay, so Patch Juris for $28. Free Palestine has now plagued New Brunswick. Beyond small protests, their flag got raised in its capital, City Hall, and graffiti in major cities. Not the only foreign problem, but the most recent. Canada is a cultural doormat. Yeah, and we need to stop this crap, because they will take advantage of the complacency. And I think it's silly. You don't see the Israel flag being raised everywhere.
Well, and that's not against one group or anything. It's just
right.
Bad people will take advantage of good people when good people are not doing anything about it.
Now, if people have the opinion Free Palestine, I have no problem with that. If people have the opinion Free Palestine and they're blocking highways and taking over, government flagpoles and stuff like that, I have a problem with that.
Yeah. How about we enforce our laws?
And Richard Weave for $7. Mark Carney, 3 things cannot long remain hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Buddha.
Awesome. Thank you. I like that.
Sully Canuck for $20. On another lighter note, it was good seeing our great MP Andrew Lawton singing Christmas carols in Port Stanley. Good to see him using his voice for something other than tearing a strip off of.
That's awesome. I saw that on his Facebook, but that's really cool that you were there. That's awesome.
Doodoo for $5. If you love books, look up the Absolute Batman series and the John Gwyneth Hunger of the Gods series. Okay, thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.
Cheryl, maybe Christmas presents. Cheryl Edwards, welcome to NP supporter. Great to have you. Joe Mama for $10. What do you think about food prices continuing to rise? They say next year a family of 4 will be paying over $1,000 more per food. Do you think this will be enough to wake people up? I think it will help.
So
I think it will help, because this is where the Conservatives need to just hammer on. Nothing has changed. Nothing.
Yeah.
Food prices went up this year under Trudeau. They're going up again under Carney. Now the Liberals will say, see, nobody can do anything about it. If you can't do anything about it, then you shouldn't be in government. Period. And let's see. Derek Macbeth, good to see you. Even the projects Carney claims are getting done aren't really getting done, right? And let's see. I want to make sure I get this person's name. And RC Lamoureux for $5. Thank you very, very much. Heather Marie for $7. Alberta will simply trade either the U.S. It sucks, but it would happen. And this is member comment, member for 11 months. Rob Nordoff, good to see you. I would like to respectfully throw my name into the potential mod hat. Also, when does the omnibus bill go to committee? We'll see. We'll see. After it's done second reading. So, do you want to see where C15 is?
Oh, sure. And if you are interested in becoming a moderator, just send us an email, info@northernperspective.ca. We are very behind on our emails right now, so I do apologize. But please do email us.
And RC Lemmer for $5. I don't think people have the same views I have. What I see is terrifying. One party playing Canadians. Alberta joins U.S. first, then the rest of Canada. No, and that's fine. We disagree on that, RC, but that's what healthy conversation is for. But thank you for the comment.
And so in regards to Bill C-15, there's been a lot of debate in the House, like a lot, since November 20th. And the last debate was 2 days ago. So I don't know if they're continuing debate or if they are sending it on to committee. I'm not seeing a vote here listed.
So that hasn't made it out of second reading yet.
Yeah, it may still be in second reading. There's a lot of debate going on.
Yeah. So just to recap, after debate, so the bill is read for a second time, and then they debate the heck out of it, and then they will vote on whether to send it to committee, not whether or not to pass it. And then most government bills will end up in committee, so it will most likely get to committee, and then that's where it gets ripped apart.
You said C-15, right? 1.5?
C-15.
Because it's simultaneously... Oh, it's in pre-study in the Senate.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
Okay, because it's
just because it's so big.
Yes.
SK for $5. Listen, you beautiful poop heads.
Unmitigated horse pucky.
I hope you're talking to the cats.
I love you all, especially Tanya's laugh, Ryan's love for his nation, and all of NP Nation. We will save Canada. You darn right we will. You darn right.
You guys are going to love this one.
And this is Rob Nordhoff. Thank you very much for $5. I would like to see when the libs boast of stuff like the 54,000 jobs created, the cons clap back with facts instead of going to another question. A lot of times they do. The catch with the Conservatives is they also have to be very careful of appearing to crap on any perceived positive. So they have to be very careful. There's a line they need to straddle on that. And if they go after literally everything, then it's easy for them to be just labeled as, oh, yeah, you're conspiracy theorists, and that's a big no-no with the swing voters. So they have to be careful.
And the other thing is when the MPs prep for question period, they get 35 seconds per question. So the Conservatives already know, okay, this is the question I'm going to ask. It takes me 34 seconds to read it. I don't really have time to tack anything else onto it.
And unless you're an experienced MP, it's very hard to come up with that retort, say it quickly, and still have time for your question. Some of them can do it, and some of the new MPs they try.
It's a skill.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's debating. It's parliamentary debating. So it's very, very tough. So. And for $5, thank you very, very much to Ray McLean. Thank you. And he says, Drats, I didn't get the ding. Here's a few for support anyways. I'll watch it when the repost. Okay, thank you very much. And Duda for $10. Thank you. Just remember, even if the Canada we know falls, as long as the people have hope, strength, and determination, Canada will always rise again like a phoenix. And this is what I always say. If Germany can be utterly
destroyed,
obliterated into oblivion in every possible scenario, economy, infrastructure, people everything, at the end of the Second World War, and can build back to be, well, it was at one point one of the strongest economies in Europe. We will survive this, and we will come back from this. Now for $10 we have Michael N again. I think I smell burnt toast. Unfortunately, Q1 of 2026 is a very dangerous time for Canada. Mortgage renewals are coming due. Yes, they are. We need to come together and build a better Canada. Honesty is so important right now in Canada. Yes.
100%.
And this we've been kind of talking about this coming concern for about 8 months now. And it's going to hit like a Mack truck.
Yeah. There's 4 houses on our street. No, there was 5 houses on our street that were up for sale. One actually sold. 2 took the signs down, and 2 of them are still on the market, and it's been like 90 plus days.
And townhouses that were going in code for $1 million are now being put up for $699.
That's still crazy for a townhouse.
No, but what does that tell you? That tells you that people
are taking a
$300,000 loss.
hit. Yeah.
And they may still owe money at the end, or maybe they're going to be losing all of their equity just to get out from the mortgage payments.
Yeah.
So this is where we're at, and this is just in Hamilton, and I know there's communities across the country that are having the same issue. Okay. Monique Levesque, thank you very much. Member for 4 months. If Pierre becomes PM, do you think 1, he can reverse all the problems we have, and 2, do you think Pierre will get Trump to deal, i.e. tariffs? I think he will, because I think he's going to be offering Trump a different economic deal, and it's not going to be based on ideology and net zero propaganda and garbage.
Now, can Pierre reverse all the problems that we have? I think eventually they will, but we have to remember, if we do have an election in 2026, and if the Conservatives do win it, they're not Batman. Like, Pierre's not Batman. He's not just going to swoop in and save Gotham City, right? It's going to take a long time. The Liberals have had 10 years to screw things up, and it's going to take time and hard work for the Conservatives to reverse that.
There's going to be some things that can be done quickly, like regulations, right? So you can, so there's probably going to be a big omnibus bill, and an omnibus bill is basically a bill that you have a whole bunch of changes to a whole bunch of different laws in one. So they're going to be trying to introduce as much quick change as possible. Reverse C11, C18, C69, C5, C75. Like, there's going to be all of these changes that are going to be in one bill within the first 90 days. That are the easy, quick wins, right? The harder ones are when you're dealing with the economy, when you're dealing with infrastructure, when you're dealing with housing and these sort of things. Those will take a long time. But the best thing that they can do is legislate us into prosperity. As he says, government gets out of the way and makes Canada a regulatory attractive nation for businesses to come and do do business with. If we can be easy to do business with, then businesses will want to do business with us. So, so yes, it can happen. It's going to take at least 8 years to really start to get back on track, and even then, we're not going to be all the way back. So, and RC Lammer for $5. We're all in for a great surprise of all time. Carney, Hillary Clinton, many politicians and bureaucrats will be arrested for treason in U.S. and Canada.
Interesting. Treason in Canada is a very, very specific charge. It pretty much has to do with like assaulting the sovereign, which is King Charles or any of his descendants, or what was the other one? Like giving away state secrets. So it's very, very specific.
Well, if the proof is there, I welcome the day.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Leap Busby for $5. Carney's plan got upended by Trump and global shifts. He'll stay a bit, see it's not doing much, get bored, and walk away. Better invest elsewhere. Yeah, I guess we'll see, right? If he's not getting what he thought he was, why is he going to continue? maybe he'll go and say, oh well, you know, I'm a European citizen now, and maybe I'll go run one of those countries. Heather Marie for $7. Haha, please tell me where to donate for the late night TV.
Thank you.
And Sean for $2.79. What will it take to flip Toronto blue? We don't need all of Toronto. We just need a bunch. Right? We just need a bunch.
Well, and even not necessarily Toronto, but like Oakville or Burlington. GTA, yeah, Hamilton. We've got 2 seats in Hamilton that are blue, but we also have 3 that are red. So I'm hoping that maybe Hamilton Mountain we can flip blue next time, because I think a large part of the reason that we were disadvantaged in that riding is because the candidate was not selected until 2 weeks into the campaign. So what are you going to do with a 3-week campaign? That's not enough to even like get your feet wet. So one of the things Pierre had said during the interview that we did with him in October was that they learned from that and that they will be appointing candidates earlier.
Well, and this is where this is where I was saying the EDAs need to, like, the Conservatives need to work with the EDAs to start like a national outreach program, in humble opinion, they need to be having events a lot. And this is the tough part, because everybody is doing it as volunteers, right? Everybody on the EDA is a volunteer. So it's a lot of work to do this stuff. But if we're really serious about changing this country, then I think they have to, start these things. And we've seen some of the EDAs around here start this, and it was really encouraging to start this.
Yeah, we went to a few events in Oakville. You're going to be going to an event this month in Windsor.
Yep. So I'll be at an event on December 16th in Windsor. That's it's Windsor Tecumseh, I believe.
So it's Kathy Borelli's EDA.
Yes. I should know this off the top of my head.
We should, but
she yes, it is Windsor Tecumseh Lakeshore. So I believe that is posted. So if you're going to be in that area, then come to that event on December 16th.
Yeah, but it's just going to be Ryan, not both of us, because I've got to hold down the fort.
It's gonna be just me.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, sorry to disappoint.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint indeed.
Yeah, you should be the one apologizing.
Right?
How dare you?
Greta's gonna get used and abused. And RC Limmer for $5. You'd be surprised what a good sponsor could do. You could simultaneously broadcast on YouTube. I retain first right of refusal to broadcast your show. Okay.
All right then.
And Kevin Schur, welcome to NP supporter. Thank you very, very much. And this is Doug. Doug for $20. Thank you very much, Doug. The 20% tax cut would work. You'd be upfront and say we're going to run a deficit, but we're going to put it towards our people instead of other countries. Canadians with the 20% tax cut, we will build pipelines and mines. Possibly.
Interesting.
Possibly. You know what? That would be a fascinating program.
It'd be really cool to have somebody who's good with policy.
You know what?
To
get someone who manages a salary cap for the
yes.
NHL, and see what they can come in, because it would be an interesting thought experiment. Because if you say, all right, we're going to give everybody a 20% tax cut, and we're going to fund that for 1 year by running a deficit, and why we're doing that is so Canadians can have some breathing room for a year while we start to get everything in order. It's an interesting thought experiment. That's a good one, Doug. Thanks for bringing that up. And Will Kowchuk dropping 20 memberships. Thank you very much for that. Jessica Van Luke for $7. Anna, Laureen, and Mila are all very special ladies. It's amazing to see all the hard work they have accomplished over the years. God bless them. Absolutely.
100%.
And Will with another 10 memberships. Thank you very, very much, Will.
And we also have Gordon Muir gifting 20 Northern Perspective memberships. Thank you very much.
And Anubis Hades for $2. Will Carney vote for the pipeline motion? Screwed. Hey, if he doesn't, then he's in a bind. He's
kind of in a bind either way, isn't he?
Yeah, he's either going to further tick off the environmentalists, or he's going to tick off everybody else who thought that he was serious and now he's not. So this is a good pincer move that Pierre has done. And again, I was discussing this with somebody on X about this. The motion's not binding, but it means something, right? The MOU doesn't really mean anything, but a vote in the House is something official you can point at, and they will ask for a recorded vote. You can better believe that. That way they can wave it around. So, and Doug for $2. Thank you very, very much for that. Lazarus for $5. How could we change the rules of Parliament and our political system so the last decade of liberal corruption can never be repeated ever again? You need new legislation. Yeah,
I think actually Duff Conacher had some really good ideas in terms of conflicts of interest and how the MP's assets and that sort of thing could work. And that's just one idea. So there are definitely ideas out there that could be brought forward and made into legislation, and hopefully that would prevent some of this corruption from happening. If you take away the financial incentive. Are they fighting over there? No, they're just complaining. Okay.
You put massive teeth behind the ethics laws. In my opinion, if a MP has found to be willfully and corruptibly, if that's a word, committing an ethics violation and breaking the ethics laws, I think they should lose their seat. Out. And then you have to go to a by-election. You need really stiff penalties like that, because remember, and this again off of what Duff Conacher said, these are the folks that we're giving the nation to. So why are we not holding them to the highest possible standards of both fiduciary responsibility as well as moral and ethical conduct when managing our state in trust? Why are we not doing that? We have the expectations that they are, but there's no teeth to ensure that they do. So there needs to be very, very, very strict laws in order to do that. And I want to see the Conservatives bring that in so they can say, early, so they can say, look, we have all this other stuff that we're doing, but we're going to work on this as well because we need to be holding ourselves to that same standard. You want to start bringing trust back to the government? Bring something like that in really early and demonstrate to Canadians, listen, we're talking the talk, and we've been doing that for the last 10 years. Now we're going to walk the walk and hold ourselves to the same standard that we've been trying to hold the Liberals to. So, and then make that law require 3/4 of the House to change it or to repeal it. Something like that. That way it's really hard to rip out. So, next, great question, Lazarus. Great question from MP Nation, always. You guys are phenomenal. Sean for 279. Carney includes CPP in GDP, which is wrong. It 100% is.
Yeah, so it has to do with the way that our CPP operates. And I don't recall all the details, but I do have an article from the Fraser Institute on the subject as to why Canada does this when other G7 nations don't.
Well, it's when we improperly do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will look for that article over the next day or two. Just give me a little bit of time, and then I'll post it to our community because it is a good read. I think it was in a PDF format, though. Just FYI, but I'll put it on our community.
Yeah, and it's BS. It's basically on the same level as the Liberals trying to say you get more money back when you pay the consumer carbon tax. It's false. It's a false narrative, and it's just something that they spin to try and convince people that everything is going great. And Carol Riom for $5. Happy second Sunday of Advent, everybody. It's the Sunday of Hope. Also, bake brie with cranberries and walnuts on top. Serve warm with baguette slices.
That sounds really good. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. And T-Part C, how do we stop what is destroying Canada? Corruption at the highest levels. Unfortunately, a tough opposition and a strong mandate for the Conservatives in the next election.
And I think an informed electorate, when you have people that don't vote because they think that their vote doesn't count, or when people are watching things on YouTube that are saying that, oh, your vote is being
don't bother voting.
Or
it's hopeless.
Just whatever rumors were flying around during the election season. People don't vote because of that stuff, and we need to inform our electorate that no, this is what happens. This is the process. This is who handles it. This is what your preferred party is doing right now. This is what the other parties are doing right now. We need to make people very educated so that they can cast a very good vote. Something like 47% of respondents to a particular survey had said that they didn't feel that they cast an informed vote, that they just voted.
Yeah, it was abacus.
Yeah.
Folks, 8 million Canadians didn't vote in the last election. 8 million.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a win for a party.
Yeah. To me, because my grandparents all came from Italy, they escaped fascism to come to Canada to give future generations, including me, a better life, allowing me to vote, giving me that right. So I want to make full use of it.
Okay, we have Heather Marie for 279. Guess who? Thoughts and prayers. Jolie. LMAO. And member for a comment for 17 months. Thank you very much. Sarah follows. Good to see you, and thanks for sticking with us. I left my Christmas tree up for a year due to storage problems. My cats played with it at first, but have left it alone for ages now. Oh, now you can put up your decorations.
You can turn off the cat cam because they both ran off. There we go.
C. Wallace Aviation, thank you very, very much. A company I'm working part-time at is being squeezed with the tariffs and will likely start layoff next year, and I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
And this is what we're going to see continue, unfortunately. But, you know, the Liberals are going to crow about 54,000 part-time jobs. And Jayless 69 full. I'm probably missing that. Carney talks
Soulful, maybe.
Maybe. Carney talks net debt, not debt GDP. No, net deficit. Deficit is what he's talking about.
The net deficit includes the CPP, which is not theirs to touch, as we discussed last week.
Well, actually, sorry. Yeah. So he'll say net debt, but his fiscal anchor is deficit to GDP, not debt to GDP, which is very different. And Peter Whitten for $2, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, C.S. Lewis. There you go. And another $2, a good read while we calm over the holidays.
Thank you very much for that.
And Will Kalchuk, I would like to say NP is the best. Keep up the good work. Mods, you're fantastic. Enjoy all the time off. We got you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And congratulations on reaching your pink maple leaf there for 24 months.
2 years. There you go.
Thank you.
Selena for $10. Thank you very much. Last election, I got Liberals and NDP knocking on my door, but no Conservatives. I know I live in a small town, but they need to knock on the door also. They may have skipped you if they knew you were already a supporter. Because sometimes what they'll do is they'll knock on purely the undecideds. Because if they have like a solid yes from you, then maybe that's why they skipped you. But if they never knocked at all, then that's a problem because they need to confirm that yes.
Yeah, especially if you have a sign on your lawn, because they would have done calling to see if you wanted to sign, or you would have contacted them to ask if you wanted to sign. If you've got a sign, obviously you're going to vote, so they won't spend the time sending somebody to your home. And again, that's all through that little app that they have on the phone.
Yeah. But I agree. If no one ever talked to you, they need to get out and talk to as many people as possible to confirm that.
Well, that's absolutely what won Ned this riding.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, they knocked on doors hard.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, they did the whole writing at least twice.
Yeah, they did it twice. So that's like 200,000 doors. Well, probably.
It's a lot.
It's probably
at least 50,000 homes, I would say.
Yeah. So, and Sean for $2.79. I've noticed Liberals yelling a lot lately. Yeah, or not showing up to committee. And Heather Marie for $2.79. When are you guys coming north? Well, I guess north where? I guess that's the question. So
perhaps not in the winter though. It's easier to drive in the summer.
Autistic Avenger for $2. Can Toronto homes go below 1 million within a year? Probably not. They're still going to be crazy expensive, but I
Toronto's always been out of reach for many people.
And for $5, thank you very, very much. Contra Wars. Book recommendation, Malazan Book of the Fallen franchise. Serious depth, high fantasy on Lord of the Rings level, written by Canadians. Excellent. That's
very
nice
cool.
to
Thank
see.
you.
Thank you. Peter Whitten for $2. For Pete's sake, vote. Yes.
Yes, listen to Pete.
For Peter Whitten's sake, vote. And Sean for $2.79. Repeal UNDRIP. That's a good one. And Peter Whitten for $2. I am running for municipal council again. I got this. Attaboy.
Awesome.
Get in there.
Good luck.
RC Lemmer for $2. We have a verbal contract that in 3 hours. Sure. I'm sure that will not stand up in court. Peter Whitten for $2. This is my slogan, for Pete's sake, a winner.
That's
amazing.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Vote for Pete's sake.
Love it.
Awesome. So, anyway, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I am very, 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 very much looking forward to whatever time off that we do get. But
the House sits this week, and they rise on the 12th for Christmas break.
This is the last week before February.
You will probably see us the week of the 15th, perhaps sporadically, but we'll be around. And then I think the week of the 22nd, when Vincent's off school, we'll start taking some time off.
Yeah, and I'm just going to do nothing. Like, literally, I'm going to sit here, do nothing, and it will be everything I think it can be. So, but anyway, folks, it should be an interesting week. And whenever you see a Liberal today, just look at them square in the face and just say,
How dare you?
Have a good night, folks.
Take care.